I'm like your mom, and then I'm like
good
the
idea.
girl that you tried to make out with in high school, and then you're like, I'm gay, you know, or whatever. Wow. Here we are. Well, I gotta say, I thought, I don't even know where to start. I thought we'd been through some fucking weeks in 2020 that were years. And then last week happened. And I don't know where to go.
And this week is happening.
By the time this podcast, again, like last week, we made this disclaimer. Hey, we're pre-recording this. And by the time you hear this, a lot of shit will have happened. And a lot of shit did happen. But now, same deal. Like, this is going to come out in 48 hours. And like, who knows what those 48 hours will bring.
On Wednesday is when they're supposed to vote on the articles of impeachment. And it's like, I don't know, man.
Well, guys, thanks to those of you at home who maybe found some solace or relief in our insane ignorance at
Lord.
what was about to transpire in our country last week, because we were just merrily talking about how we didn't know what was about to happen, but
we were talking about Bean Dad.
You guys,
like it was the most
Dad is what we were talking about.
You know what? Bean Dad
I'm
is
embarrassed.
the only person in 2021 who's done it right, because everything he did was before the coup. We don't give a fuck about him. If you wanted to fuck up in 2021, January 1st through the 5th was your time. You missed it. Hilaria Baldwin, you fucking nailed it, girl.
Nailed it. We don't even. Who is she?
It.
What did she do again? I don't remember.
Yeah. Truly nailed it. Never been a better time to get canceled than the beginning of the year this year, because we were like, Bean Dad, get the fuck out of here. We have some issues.
And now I'm like, what? Who? When? That was just a week ago?
As of right now, today, when we're recording this currently, the State Department website says Donald Trump's presidency ended January 11th, 2021.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It does?
But here's the thing. So
people are like, is it a hack? Did it happen? What happened?
It is a hack, because I was doom scrolling and a disgruntled State Department worker did that, and now they are launching an instigation into all interns and lower level people who should be exiting once this presidency is over, to try to find out who among them did that.
Wait, you said instigation, which is perfect. But
investigation. Yeah.
An investigation, but also, like, should we be investigating that right now?
Just like shout out to the Biden administration social media team, who just keeps posting things like, the work of the next 4 years must be the restoration of democracy and the recovery of the respect of the rule of law and the renewal of a politics that's about solving problems, not stoking the flames of hate and chaos. Like, every 10 minutes, they're like, in 15 days, we begin to heal.
I feel like it's the recording reminding you to keep, like, your arms and hands in on the people mover at the airport, just being like, just
help is on the way. Help is on the like, literally, he said that one time. He was like, help is on the way. I will help you in 15 days. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Like, I truly, this is just like some black shit real quick. I don't know how any black person before now has ever lived. I have to call my grandma. I don't know how she lived. I wish my great grandma was alive. She was born in like 1912. I don't know how y'all did it, because today the white supremacy is pretty bad. 1812, fucking 1915, like 1935. It was just people walking around in Klan fucking hoods and stuff. Like, seriously, how is anybody do anything? People used to just go to work, and it was just people, Klansmen just walking around.
But I think that around the time of the Great Conjunction, when the talk was about all the black American people are going to get their superpowers, remember?
Yeah.
And like, then
that was
some
fun.
and then some fucking white supremacist dumb Karen bitch like posted some stupid TikTok. And I don't know if you saw this. I don't know who, I can't remember who it was that someone I follow on Instagram posted the response to it, which was essentially like, oh, I'm so sorry, bitch. Like, Black people in this country have endured this and this and this and this and this and this. And in spite of all of it, in spite of all of these things that white people have tried to do to oppress and hold them back and down and whatever, have become like leaders of our communities and doctors and like whatever. They are fucking superheroes. The fact that you exist in this space is
and
like, because
we're
in spite
fun.
of what?
I said, and we know how to go on Twitter and have fun.
Well, Black Twitter, yeah. I mean, yes, you guys have the only good Twitter.
Yeah, it's just been like I've been watching it and just being like, well, I talked to my grandmother who is 78, who I believe Ruby Bridges is like 66, so she's like 12 years older than Ruby Bridges. Like
Jesus.
people always are like, Ruby Bridges is so old, black and white photos. It's like Ruby Bridges is on Instagram. So it's like,
wait, can I ask you a question? Did your family grow up, like, are you from Florida? Is that where your
Florida.
people are? Like, you're from Florida.
Well, we're like Jamaican, but like not in the way that like I would ever tell anybody I'm Jamaican. Like, I'm not Jamaican.
I don't know why that just struck me as so funny.
But you know, like people who are like Irish, they're like,
yes,
like, I'm Irish, and it's like, no, you're not. You're from fucking Illinois. Like,
that's right. Well, that's me.
Yeah,
People always ask, they're like, what's your family? I was like, I don't know, dude. Fucking Chicago.
Yeah.
You
so
know?
like we're Floridian, and I had to do like kind of a project when I was like in middle school, and like we are Jamaican in quotation marks, but like we don't go to Jamaica. I would never ever say I'm Jamaican because like I have no cultural I have no cultural like connection to that. It's just like at some point in time, my people were in Jamaica, but we are Floridian. Like we grew up in Florida. My grandparents went to segregated schools. My aunts and uncles integrated high schools. My parents were the first in their family to go to schools that were like started already integrated. Like everybody's always like the times. I was like, I talked to my grandma about how she went to school in a one-room building with all little black kids, and like used to walk
Grandma
down
Louise?
the street. Grandma Louise, yeah, she went to all.
When is Grandma Louise zooming in?
Grandma Louise don't know how to use Zoom. She barely know how to use FaceTime. If she had FaceTime, you want to know what you see? Her forehead. That's it. Not a whole face. And I'm
Her
like,
and
Grandma,
Cricket, they've got the same style.
Just like straight up forehead. I mean, my grandma told me stories about how like they used to walk home from school past the white school and they would throw rocks at them. So like this idea that it was gone, they were just satisfied, I guess, at the moment for all the suppression. They killed all our fucking leaders. And then in the 70s, everybody was like, let's do cocaine and relax. And now we're like, you know what? Actually, we would like to vote now. And the shit is hitting the fucking fan. And I think that, like, I don't know, we really have to reckon with not our past, with our present. Everybody keeps saying that it's so far away. We need to reckon with what happened on Wednesday. Because we did not reckon with Reconstruction, we had all those Klansmen. Because we did not reckon with all those Klansmen in the 60s, we have all these fucking Proud Boys. And
things like the housing act and like, and
the Voters' Right Act. And it's like all of this, we have been so nice. Democrats are so fucking nice. We've been like, okay, well, like, we're going to follow the rules, but like, there are no rules. There is no precedent. So like, just understand that like, we are not reckoning with some surprise. We are reckoning with the present.
That's correct.
The two things that really bother me are when people say that, first of all, history won't look kindly on this person. And I'm like, who gives a shit? I don't care about how I'll be dead. You'll be dead. Let's not wait for history to look unkindly on this.
Yeah.
And then second of all, I really despise when people say, you know, when something is happening and there's like this like racist uprising and disturbance in society and people are like, that's just the last gasp of the old guard and that's their death rattle and they can feel their power slipping slipping away. And I'm like, no, I saw those guys in khakis with tiki torches marching, and they were my son's age.
Yeah.
We are making new racists every day. Nothing is dying out.
I do want to say, I still am with Shantira, though, that we have the numbers for good.
Yeah.
I do think there are more good people than those young, ugly, fucking dockers wearing torch assholes.
I think so too. And I think, I mean, obviously the election showed that that people that want progress outnumber people who do not want progress. I think the issue comes in when people who don't want progress and they want to actually regress to another time when things weren't good, they're willing to storm the Capitol.
Yeah,
and
they're willing to way more
climb through a
violent
window
acts. Yeah.
and get shot. Whereas on, people that do want progress, I think a lot of us are like, let's be unified and like, let's, let's not be rude to each other. And I'm like, and I get it. I understand, like, because I know a lot of people are like, unity, fuck that. And I get it. I feel that way too. I also get that we're in the good position that we're in because of Republicans with integrity. I
don't believe that. I think we're in the position we're in because of black people. I don't give Republicans any credit for anything. I think they're all trash. All of them.
Well, here's what I do want to say. I agree with you. Black voters voted the way that they did, and that's a huge
And black
deal.
organizers made sure that black voters were able to get there and fucking do it.
Yes. But in Georgia, where we were relying on those elections, those runoff elections, if elected Republican officials had decided to circumvent democracy,
find 11,000 votes,
yes, then we would not be in the position that we're in right now. So when we're talking about like unity or whatever, I, give like a gentle nod to those couple Republicans in Georgia who were like, listen, I don't like this. It goes against what I wish was happening. But the shred of integrity that I have is making me say that they won this election fair and square and we have to move forward. So like, thank God for that, because you're right, Shantira, there are no rules anymore. So if whoever those guys in Georgia had been like, oh yeah, we're just going to like set a bunch of ballots on fire and like make it come out the way we want it to come out, they probably could have.
I don't know why. I mean, like, I kind of know why, but I would say I don't know why they did what they did, but I do not think it was for the Republic. I think it was for them. I still give them no credit. I genuinely believe that, because even, oh boy, what's his name? Raffensperger or whatever the fuck his name. He was like, Trump threatened me. That is why I said something. So, like, he wasn't even going to say anything about that phone call. So I don't trust those bitches. And then also, truly what Caissie said about, like, history. Like, also, history remembers them fondly, baby. That fucking you can go to Florida right now and get a Confederate flag fucking
anything. You can literally get anything.
A tag. You can get you can get a car, you can get a tag. Just in 2020, Mississippi, the blackest state in the union, took the fucking rebel flag out of their actual state flag. So like history is just being rewritten constantly. We have so many schools named after fucking General Lee. I mean, like, it's just like propaganda, and how like we as a country are so like up our butts about like other countries having propaganda. But I'm like, yo, America has hella propaganda. We like do not like talk about that fucking Confederate flag enough. We like don't talk about it should be gone.
I mean, like, it has to get gone. It has to be illegal. They have to do what Nazi Germany did.
Also give me some reparations.
Well, a couple things.
Yeah.
Shantira, my middle school in Massachusetts, not the South, Massachusetts, was named after just like a local important guy in history. Yeah. Nobody knows who he is except for people in my town. But my middle school mascot was a rebel and carrying a Confederate flag. Why? And there was like a significant portion of the school were non-white kids. A lot of Black kids went to that school. And it was just like, I was stupid. I was in 6th grade. I was ignorant. I didn't even know what that was until later. But like, who thought that was a good idea?
It's so much. It's so weird too, because I think obviously a lot of people were scared. One of the things too is like, they don't seem very scared. Like everybody I know is like terrified. We're all like, oh my gosh, all these people are like doing racist uprising and trying to burn down Capitol buildings. And they're all like, we're mad. And all of us are like, we're very scared. So I think that if you could be this scared in like an age where like I can literally videotape anybody doing anything, I can only imagine that like when that school like was created, I bet you a bunch of people were like, I don't like that flag. And the one person who really wanted that flag was violent as fuck. And then they were like, yeah, okay. Because that's what it's been like. It's been like them being so violent.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing with the abortion stuff too, right? Like, which is that, you know, for so long, the anti-choice side not just was like louder, they were fucking scary. They would go to these clinics and shoot doctors in the head. They would put bombs at Planned Parenthoods. They were terrifying. No wonder women didn't want to talk about legitimate medical procedures that they were going through, because it's
terrifying. There was a woman
terrifying.
online who it's a nurse who said that she used to work at Planned Parenthood and that a church rented out the building next door and then started a radio broadcast. And anytime they would drive into the Planned Parenthood, they would announce over the AM radio that the nurse had arrived, what car they drove in, and their license plate. So I think everyone needs to like really, I know it's really hard, and I think white America especially needs to have a reckoning with the amount of violence.
Yeah.
And violence isn't even necessarily physical. The amount of verbal, emotional, and mental violence. This is violence. Everybody at home watching people break into the Capitol and knowing that if those were Black and brown people, that they would have been shot on sight. That
I mean, it wouldn't even have gotten close
that
to
far,
that,
right? So,
No.
like, to know that, like, at any given time, if you were to fight for what is right, you will be killed. And for someone to want to kill you who is wrong, to be walked down the stairs, a woman her hand was held while she walked down the stairs after she left the Capitol, right? So, like, this is violence. So if at any time during all of this, if you're like, I feel really bad, you are going through trauma. This is traumatic.
Yeah.
Everybody wants you still to go back to work. You are literally working through trauma, like capitalism blows. And like, just know that like, you're not crazy. This is violence. It is like traumatic.
And we've also been gaslit because so many times along the way, people have said, this is scary.
Yes.
He's a fascist. We are moving toward fascism. And so many times people on the right who are more moderate, but also people on the left.
Also
and also
people on the left.
On the very far left have said, calm down. It's not going to be that bad. You're going to wake up tomorrow. The sun's going to rise. And yes,
white
obviously,
cisgender men, mostly. I'm going to just say that.
You know?
And white cisgender straight women.
To just be like, calm down, you know, like, let's not blow this out of proportion. No, it's time to like, what's the opposite of calm down? Where it's time to rev up. You know what I mean? Like people could not have told us more times, like, here's a checklist of like the steps to succeeding at fascism. You're on like number 9 of 10. And so many people are just like, yeah, but like The Bachelor is on, and I get it. Like, people need a break. People need a break, but it's just
that's why you have this podcast.
Yes. And we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. But you know what's funny, Shantira? You were saying like how violent they are and how, you know, but it's also funny how soft they are.
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm like,
when they get like arrested.
Like, I was storming the Capitol and they maced me.
She was holding it. Did you see the onion though?
An onion?
She was rubbing her eyes with an onion so that she could be on TV. What is up with these fucking people?
I read that they believe that an onion helps
with
get
tear
rid
gas.
of tear gas.
Wait,
which
is that-
doesn't make any sense. That's like saying that fire helps put out fire. I don't know why you would think that, but they think a lot of things, don't they? That they think that people are lizards. So I don't know. But it has been wild to me to see these like people getting taken off of airplanes.
It's very interesting to watch them like if you have the chance, you should watch Joyanne Reed did a really great clip about how like white people just like are not afraid of the police
at all.
So like they did all that stuff, killed a police officer who was a Trump supporter, and then went back to their hotels. They were looking at the camera being like, hello, my name is Dave. I live in Wisconsin.
Right.
And I stormed the Capitol. Good night, folks. And it's like, wait, what? I get stressed out when I fill out a W-9. So
Right.
I'm always like, am I putting the right amount of taxes here? And they went and said that they wanted to go kill Nancy Pelosi. No mask. I was like, the bare minimum of committing a crime. Crime 101. Fuck the pandemic. Wear a mask. It's like
everybody knows that.
I mean, just fuck the pandemic, fuck COVID. Crime 101. Crime 101. Even if you're like being a little bandit, a little bandana.
Yeah, even if you don't believe in COVID, you're given a total cover to wear a mask and get away with your crime instead of.
It's truly, I mean, I don't know. It's not shocking and not surprising in so many ways because this is exactly what everyone has been talking about for years. And
we believed it. And we believed it.
And we believed it. And also in the last 6 months, especially. Mm-hmm. And I think that to see it so brashly displayed, white privilege in that way, entitlement in that way, like, you know, their
supremacy.
Own belief.
White supremacy. I mean, I think at this point, it's past white privilege because, like, I feel like
it's white supremacy for sure.
It's just that they are straight up white supremacists now. I would prefer privilege,
but for sure. But I mean, but that feeling of like I can go anywhere and do anything and no one is gonna stop me.
And not like danger.
You know, as a young woman, in my teen years, have been stopped by police before, and I was like, "Fuck you! What are you? You know, like not really fuck you, but like just like attitude-y."
Yeah.
I probably could have been like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you've ever been to a Cubs game in Chicago, you have seen many a white lady scream, fuck you at the police.
I'm just saying, like, when I was like a teen girl, I was always just like, what are you going to do to me? You know, like in Scottsdale, Arizona, driving my Honda Civic. But, I mean, that's the attitude backed by their white supremacy and their anti-Semitism and their racism and their, you know, just like abject belief that they're like insane things that they're holding on to are true, like lizard people and fucking Pizzagate.
It's a lot.
It's
a lot.
So
and then
much.
And then to see Alex Jones yelling at a QAnon person about how crazy they are, and I'm just like, what? I don't know. We're like over the rainbow.
We live in hell.
This has been tough with kids in a lot of ways. Obviously, last week was really, really fucking tough in my house, and that day especially, I was at work, and I was really upset and had to finish being hysterically funny. I'm kidding. I'm teasing. Caisie's face, she was like kind of not paying attention, and then she just like looked up like, what are you talking about?
I thought it was funny.
It's the weirdest thing ever when you do these things, like when you make television shows, to when big world events happen and they're like, okay, but we still need to finish scene 13. So, and roll it. You know, and you're just like, okay, like you have to go back and like, it's not like, I don't know. There's nothing comparable to it because it's like any other job in the world. You can kind of like, you might have to have a meeting, blah, 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 blah. But in my job, I literally had to go like be a fucking idiot and like say ridiculous that, you know what I mean? And
I was going to say, I got a call from my agents in the middle of the coup and they were like, listen, I know it's a coup, but like you have to sign this today.
Stop it. I know it's the coup, but you...
Well, like they didn't say that, but they called, and I was like, "Y'all, it's a coup," and they were like, "We know, but we have to call you about this. We're about to send you some paperwork. Stay safe." And then I just signed paperwork during the coup.
When 9/11 happened, I was standing with the cast of Everybody Loves Raymond watching a television as like the planes flew into like the World Trade Center just blocks from us. And they were like, holy shit, is this real? And I was like, and then like our production manager came around and was like, just go back to your desk and sit tight and we're going to decide if we're going to go forward with the show or not. And I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to leave this landmark building and go be somewhere safe. That's not a high rise. Like, yeah, they were just like, yeah, we know it's 9/11, but let's hold the beat.
Entertainment is wild in that way.
It's just
they
like
really,
bonkers.
yeah, it's really bonkers. But I came home that night. I mean, like everybody, whatever. I was like in like I was in like kind of like a fugue state, and got home that night not too late, and was just like sobbing, and then was like watching as the House and the Senate returned, and like was kind of like watching some of the speeches and things, and then but also like trying to not freak out the kids, whatever. And then I went up to Bird's room, and Birdie was like, this is what's so funny about having like basically a teenager, is that they assume that you're a fucking idiot all the time, and that you don't know, and like you don't know what's happening in the world. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's just my teenager. But I think it's kind of universal. And so Birdie said, did you see what happened today? Also, kind of honestly, to be fair, I was at work all day, so maybe Birdie doesn't know. Maybe whatever. Anyway, did you see what happened today? And I was like, yeah, of course. It's like, it's fucking insane. This is like historic, and it's bonkers, and it's really upsetting. You know, are you okay? And they're like, yeah. I mean, they want us all dead, right? And I was like, and I was so. This is where I mean, whatever. I talked about it in therapy today, so I've like processed. I won't cry right now, but I just was like so exhausted and whatever. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, obviously your dad, because Jewish, and you and Cricket, Jewish, and me, abortion. So yeah. And then Birdie was like, yeah, and also me double. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess so, huh? And I wasn't like, I know that like in that moment, like what I should have probably done was still realized that they're a child, and like said something.
I think that you did it absolutely right. I think that's absolutely right. It's hard to say, like, I knew I was Black and I was in danger from the time I was 5, right?
Right.
Birdie knows that they're in danger. And 2, you don't get to be a kid when you're in danger. Like, you already know. So, like, I know I'm not a parent, but as a child of a parent who had to make me fully aware that there were people who wanted to kill me so that I could live a life where I was safe. I don't know how a parent does that, but like every little Black kid sits down and has a talk about the cops. And if Birdie is like, they want to kill me, they're Jewish, they're queer, they're a woman, and they also have parents who speak out about injustice. I mean, like, if Birdie just walked around and never said anything, people are going to be mad that they're in a house with people who speak truth to power. So, like, yeah, tell the truth, because that's the truth. So that when we go out into the world, we know the truth. Because all those people have spent their whole lives being lied to, which is a big problem. So, like, that's what I think.
By the way, you're mentioning Birdie's a child. We have children go through active shooter drills in schools. When we were children, we had drills where we got under our desks to protect us from a nuclear bomb. Like, a desk is going to protect you. So, like, there's something to be said for being prepared and not being delusional and being honest. Like those kids know what those drills are for.
Yeah.
They know what those drills are for.
And
they know, we're already asking them to be wise beyond their years and learn how to save their own lives.
But I guess for me, what I wish I would have, I was just too fucking tired in that moment. But I wish and we had conversations later in the week. I wish what I would have added in that moment, because Birdie ended up having a really rough night, was I wish I would have said, but like, we're not going to fucking let that happen. And we're going to fight twice as hard and I did say later to them, I was like, you know what we have on our side, right, Birdie? And Birdie was like, we're right. And I was like, well, yes, but also we have truth and we have knowledge and we have critical thinking and we have problem solving and we have like all of these other things that aren't just brute violence at our disposal. So I'm not going to let anyone physically fuck with. I mean, God bless anyone who fucking tried with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would not want to pick a fight with me, is all I'm saying.
Busy takes those nails off.
Would you?
Yeah. Pop. No. I've seen your Lekfig videos. I'm not trying to get kicked.
I have I'm very strong, guys, and I fight real dirty. If you grab and twist balls, that motherfucker can be holding a bayonet and it will drop to the ground. All you got to do is you grab as hard as you can with the nails, pull and twist. That's it. That's all you need to know.
It's smart. That's good to know. But also it is kind of like delusional thinking. Like I don't even know if I should say this, but did you watch that woman, the one woman who was shot?
Who got shot, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the video. She looked fucking shocked. She looked shocked. Yeah. Like she did not believe that just happened. And I get it. Like she thought that she was just going to be allowed to storm the Capitol. But I just think like that police officer who was a Trump supporter, I'm sure he was shocked that it went that way. And he had everything at his disposal to sort of theoretically be able to defend himself. But that's where I'm like, what is everyone thinking? Like everyone's so scared they're coming to take our guns. They're coming to do this. They're coming to take this away from us. If the government wanted to crush any of us, they could. Like my house could be vaporized in 1 second if that's what the U.S. government wanted to do.
They have fully done that. The fucking bombing and like, I think it's, Philadelphia, where they just bombed a black neighborhood.
Yes, that's
just bombed it. And then they last year, they were like, oh, we did bomb that neighborhood. We're sorry. Like the idea that like the government couldn't do whatever they wanted, like the FBI infiltrated the Black Panthers. Like, let's be fucking serious. They have the willpower and the manpower to do whatever they want. But it's been very obvious that they only want to do it to people who are not white. That is what I have seen in this government. We can stop every Muslim who ever goes to the airport and make them take off every hijab and go through every fucking afro in the fucking place, right? They said they were going to kidnap the governor of Michigan. And they didn't do anything.
I know. Here's also, I read an interesting thing from someone I follow. I follow too many people at this point now. I don't know who it is. I can never properly give credit in this moment right now unless I scroll through and then I fucking find it. But I'm not going to do that because that's just like telling someone about your dream. It's just fucking boring. It's just boring. But basically what they were saying, it's a Black educator, woman, and I can't remember who it is that I follow that said this, but they were like, please let's stop using the word terrorist, even white supremacist terrorist, take the word terrorist out of it, because what we don't want is for the government to then put more funding into anti-terrorism, which disproportionately targets Black and brown bodies. And that was a thing that that did not occur to me, but then having that put so plainly that in the coming weeks, months, and years, hopefully we're going to see some real consequences to what this thing was. But what we don't want to see are any sort of like more legislation and funding being put into sort of an umbrella term like anti-terrorism, because we already know the systems that are in place for that are basically white supremacist systems that, whatever. So,
which is so, it's so wise, because when you think like the reason everybody's using the word terrorism is because it's like emotional. We've seen people called terrorists who have not been terrorists. We've seen people painted with that brush. And so it feels almost cathartic out of frustration to say, see, no, look, these are who the terrorists are. These are, but we can't be emotional like that, because I guess you feel like by saying this is who the terrorists are, you feel like you're going to convince someone, like someone's going to go, oh, you know what? You are right. My husband, Cleve, is a terrorist now that you mention it, but there is no convincing people. So you have to like take the emotion out of it.
I mean, I think one of the things too is that we, I saw this meme and it really like, I feel like I'm an abolitionist. I want to abolish the prison system because it's just like slave labor. But then I see them get arrested and I'm like horny for justice. So like, I'm just like, ooh, a white supremacist getting arrested? This is my kink?
I saw so many people that were like, fuck the police, except this policeman right here. Thank you, sir.
Well, the guy at the U.S. Capitol police officer, Eugene Goodman.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to fuck that guy. We love that guy.
Well, also, but like, do we?
I don't know.
Because I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I am like, please don't bother me. I really don't have the time. We're in the middle of a pandemic, but I am like very anti-police.
Yeah, me too.
Even if they're black, because here's the thing, like, they interviewed 2 black police officers, and I think this is that thing where they're like, if I become a cop, I can help from the inside. That cop got called a nigga 15 times that day. So this idea that becoming the oppressor can somehow, you can stop the oppression is just not true. You can put that uniform on, and that man did save the Senate. But the Senate has also abandoned us. So those men said that their supervisors abandoned them, that they were calling on the radios for help and they were abandoned. So this idea that like, yes, Eugene Goodman, he saved all those people, but at the end of the day, he is still a black man who got abandoned by his institution and by his government. So, but please, while we still have the institution of policing, please arrest all these white people. And then if we're going to abolish it, I'm on board, figure something out. But I do not think it will be abolished in my lifetime. I would love to be proven wrong. But if we are not abolishing something, we should definitely be changing it. And this is the first time also that like, these people have suffered any consequences. I like am confused about this lifestyle. Like they are like, I'm not allowed to fly on this plane. And I'm like, you're not allowed to fly on the plane. Like, have you never been disciplined in your life?
No.
Ever.
But guys, let's bring it back to Bean Dad. Maybe he had a point. I'm sorry. Guys, that was an easy get. And like, this is a heavy time and sorry. Don't come for me.
I know. Every time I'm always like, look, well, here's the thing. You can come for me if you want. I will not respond. So I just want you to know you should fully say, don't waste your time.
I think for a lot of people, I talked about it on the podcast today, the start of the new year feels like the right time to schedule your doctor's appointments and check in with where you're at health-wise. What about your reproductive health? Huh? What about that? Did you think about that? Did you know that a simple finger prick can unlock tons of insight into your reproductive health? Egg count, menopause timing, if your hormone levels indicate conditions like thyroid disorders or PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. All of these things are good to know whether or not kids are in your future. Well, what if I told you you could get important fertility insight without going to the doctor or without even leaving home? Modern Fertility makes that possible with easy at-home fertility hormone testing. Knowledge is power, and when you know more, you can make better decisions for your body, for your health, your future. And there aren't many decisions bigger than having a kid, but for many women, their fertility is kind of a big question mark. That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's the easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. You mail it in with a prepaid label and you get your personalized results within 10 days. Traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but Modern Fertility only costs $159 to get the same information. And if you go to modernfertility.com/best, you can get $20 off your test. Also, if you have HSA or FSA, you can use those dollars on Modern Fertility. You'll get insight into how many eggs you have, hormone levels, other important fertility factors. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and the options for next steps. Listen, maybe you want kids today, maybe one day in the future, maybe you never want children, but this clinically sound information can help you make decisions that are best for you. So right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at a doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. modernfertility.com/best. NuCalm. Stress, sleep, recovery. Whether we're in the gym or at work, these things shape how we perform. I know that I've been pretty stressed out recently, and I don't think I've been doing my best when I am faced with tricky situations. I'm very quick to anger if I'm stressed out. One thing that I've added to my daily routine, and it's helped make a noticeable difference for me, is NuCalm. I've been trying to incorporate NuCalm into my routine, like at lunch, at my lunch hour at work. It's imperative to your health and happiness to be able to manage stress and not be managed by it. NuCalm gives you the power and control to relax and recharge anywhere, anytime, on the day. NuCalm. NuCalm is the only stress management system of its kind clinically proven in over 1 million sessions to improve your sleep, reduce your stress, boost your recovery without drugs or side effects. The NuCalm system uses cutting-edge neuroscience and consists of 3 non-invasive, non-pharmaceutical items, all of which are included in your monthly subscription, which costs less than a daily cup of coffee. The whole process is easy to use and to work into your routine and to achieve better sleep, reduction in stress, and boost in recovery. So do what I did on the day with NuCalm. We have a special link set up specifically for our listeners. Go to busynucalm.com and get 50% off your 30-day subscription of NuCalm and their money-back guarantee. That's busynucalm.com. Busy, NuCalm.com.
You guys, I don't know. What's something nice that's going on? Is there anything good happening? What's happening that's nice?
Guess what?
What?
Because my sister is so good at figuring shit out, my parents have an appointment to get their vaccines on Friday.
Oh,
Yay!
that's so great.
Arizona released their list or the appointment thing or whatever. And Leanne's very, you guys know Leanne. She's very handy with the computer, with navigating the things. She's a real Gen Xer in that way.
She's the one that, like, here's the thing. I don't want to throw a party, but I love to go to a party. Leanne should throw the party. Like, nobody's going to be late. The cake's going to be on time.
The only person that's ever late is Leanne. That's the thing. Like, Leanne can organize everything, and then she's like, sorry, I'll be there in like 20.
But the party is going, and the hors d'oeuvres are hot.
Leanne could be like a private investigator. I always, she's wild. She can solve any crime. She can figure out how to do anything.
Apparently, it was, like, actually sort of difficult to figure out and you're asking like elderly people to figure
Yeah,
out this fucking like
That's
public
been the
service
problem. Yeah.
health website registration system. Leanne just clickety clack did it, and my parents got that appointment for Friday, and I'm so thrilled. It's obviously their first appointment. They'll need 2 vaccines, but like, you know, my parents are a bit older.
Yeah.
I'm very young for my age. And
That's really exciting.
I love that.
wait, did I talk about Leanne having COVID on the podcast, or did we cut it out?
Yeah, but
No,
we cut that out.
We cut it out. Well, my sister did have COVID. It was terrible, but she's fine. I mean, she was fine. My sister did have COVID. Everybody is fine. And she went to donate her platelets, plasma, whatever. Her plasma.
Convalescent plasma.
Her convalescent plasma, and it was deemed that they can't use it because they identified a thing in it that's an autoimmune disease that she thinks I might have.
Whoa.
And it's like weirdly very rare. But guys, are you ready for this? Here are the like markers of it. Irritable bowel syndrome, early onset arthritis. You guys, I have early onset arthritis in my knees, in case you didn't know. I don't think I talk about it that much. Do I?
No. You just
Sometimes
said that you
have bad knees.
I haven't heard about exactly what it is specifically, but I know that you trampoline for your knees.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's because I have early onset arthritis in both my knees, and like I had knee injuries earlier in my life, whatever. And then there was one other thing that's totally I also have that she said, and I was like, well, that's really weird. And she's like, yeah, maybe you should go get that fucking checked out. So I'm going to pretend I'm Shantira, and I'm going to take my health into consideration this year.
What's the disorder?
I can't remember. I swear to God, I can't remember. I was on the phone with her right before we hopped on here because I was just like, couldn't believe that she got those appointments so fast, because now they're of course all like full. I was about to say sold out, but that's not the right. Also, yesterday, Jessica St. Clair was all on her Instagram. You know, she had breast cancer several years ago that she survived. And
at the same time, her husband had cancer.
Yeah, they both had cancer.
Yeah.
And they had a baby. They had a baby.
Yeah, toddler.
A little kid, and they both had cancer. But Jessica was posting all day yesterday about like reminding people in this time that mammograms are important, that a lot of women can like get those tests done to see if they have any of the genes, you know, whatever. And BRCA gene? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people can start getting mammograms as, you know, regularly at 35, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Because of COVID, I didn't get my mammogram, my first one, because I waited until I was 40 because I had babies and blah, 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 whatever. And we don't have a history in my family, but I'm going to make that appointment this week too. So I'm really I'm doing my best at promising myself that I'm going to make appointments. Is that good?
Yeah. I just went through my my journal for the year and like was looking at some of the stuff that I wrote that I wanted. And like earlier in the summer, I was like, look into this breast reduction thing. And I was like, look at me. I did it. I'm proud of you back then. You're writing that.
Wait, where are you writing this? Should I be writing things down?
I write down a lot of stuff, especially when I have friends who journal every day. I am a writer, but I do not write every day. That's not my vibe. But I do try.
It's not mine either.
But because then I set the precedent that I will do it every day, and then I get upset that I've let myself down. So I write whenever I feel like it. So whenever I have like a big work thing coming up, or I just have like a bunch of feelings right before I talk to my therapist, Carla, I'll just like write down like a journal entry for that day. Sometimes I'll do it every day for 3 weeks. Sometimes I'll do it like once every month. But I'll write down like set intentions, manifestations, write when I'm upset, just like truly treat it like a diary, journal kind of thing. And I went back through like the last half of the year because it's been fucking bonkers. And I like wrote about work, about how I felt about COVID, how I felt about Breonna Taylor, how I felt about my breast reduction, about how I felt about having to go to the doctor so much and not getting anything out of it. And then like one of the lists I had, it was like, I would really like this job. I would really like people to like Saved by the Bell. I should really look into breast reduction. Call doctors this week. And that was like in that list of stuff. And I was like, oh, I did it. I didn't get that job.
I feel like you've been on a roll, though. You're getting so many jobs.
Yeah,
Shantira.
so many jobs.
Well, somebody else is going to be doing
good.
the voice of the reboot of some cartoon, and it's not going to be me.
Should have been you. Somebody, a listener of the podcast, messaged me that they heard your voice on Saved by the Bell, and they got very excited.
Yes, I am one of the voices for the Snitches Get Riches box in episode 3. So that is me.
Well, somebody shared it to me. They were very excited that I guess I was meant to pass that along.
Oh, thank you. Better late than never. But busy, yes. Write down things. But like people are always like, I'm a writer. What should I do to be a writer? And I was like, please, you do not have to write every day. Journal when you feel like it. Journal when you feel like it has saved me so much because like I always end up with the full journal at the end of the year and I don't feel bad.
I really resent sometimes when professional people give the way that it worked for them as like, this is what you have to do. It's like, I so prefer and I appreciate you saying like, do what you can do. Like, you want to be a writer? Like, write what you can. Like, focus on it when you can. Like, start writing stuff.
Because you'll feel bad.
I don't know.
I
just like, also some people don't work like in that way, that like write 5 pages every day way.
I don't.
Have you guys decided that you hate anyone new after this past week via online presences? Because I have.
I only have one nemesis, and I'll tell you guys in the group chat that, and it's not even like a real person, it's like an entity that I hate. Like, I hate no specific person. Like, obviously I hate a lot of people, like in quotation marks, but like white supremacists, the president, but there's like nobody that like because you know how
Ivanka,
that bitch, I don't even waste my time on her. She is not even in my league. I think about like how Roxanne Gay has like nemesis that like she keeps track of and they like help fuel her, but she loves it. But like I only have one nemesis, and it is an entity. So I'll text you guys about it later, or I can tell you now. We can just cut it out.
I don't really have a nemesis, but I will be honest. Like, and I feel bad because I'm sure I super annoy people. I'm online. I'm sure I have some characteristic that annoys people, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It's a secret to me. Don't tell me because it's none of my business. But I do hate people that are so repetitious. Like, just there's like a couple people that I feel like they're always like, they have like quote unquote goals that they keep just stating over and over and asking people to like help them with their goals and repeating what they want to do. But then I feel like they're never doing anything to like get closer to those goals, which is fine. That's your business.
Wait, can you give like an example in a way that wouldn't give away what you're talking about exactly?
There's one person in particular, and I kind of almost want to like get in touch with them and be like, are you okay? Because they want to do a very public facing job. And all of their social media across all things, even through the coup, was just about like how nobody is recognizing their talent.
That's not true. Not through the coup.
Through the coup.
No.
Just like nobody is recognizing their talent and like how they, people can't handle
you
their
have to text us right now. I need to know who it is. I need to look it up.
Everything. And I want to be like, do you realize that everyone
like,
that
baby,
could
like you have to just be like, baby, shh, baby. Shh.
Everyone that could potentially employ you doing the thing that you say is your passion will look and see that you were doing this through the coup.
Yeah.
And like,
you guys, that is one of the funny. Like, to me, I'm so sorry. That is real fucking funny. Like, okay. Oh shit. I don't want to. this is like such deep, old hot goss, but I don't want to do it because I already like made up with this person. I don't want to like throw him back under the bus. So I'm not going to tell the story, but I do think that like in times of like great national tragedy and strife to like be like, but what about me is like such a wild move.
Oh, you mean like Melania?
What? I didn't even see today what Melania was doing, but like also,
Melania
bye girl,
like,
get the fuck out of here. I'm not interested if she's on any fucking magazine cover. Like if she fuck whoever gives her fucking Dancing with the Stars. I'm gonna fuck.
Well, the funny thing is, like, she put out a statement, but clearly everyone who used to write statements for her has resigned. So it's clearly like she wrote a statement, but she plagiarized herself in the past, which was refreshing.
Yeah.
She plagiarized some other statement that she'd given and copied a sentiment from it. And then it's just like really weird, like short statement where she included insurgents alongside the police officer that died, like saying our hearts go out to these people, which is like incorrect. And if someone was still guiding her, they probably, well, maybe not, but hopefully would have pointed out like that's not the way that you should phrase that. And then she just made it about herself in the last paragraph about how sad she was that
everybody was being mean to me. The last two words were like to me or on me or about me. Like me was the last word. And it was like, girl, this ain't about you. Also, the rumor mill was that like a bunch of her aides quit because during the coup she was like directing a photo shoot and wouldn't stop.
Yes, it was like about rugs, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were like, people are storming the Capitol, and she was like, no, let's keep taking photos.
This is the line that made me laugh. I find it shameful that surrounding these tragic events, there has been salacious gossip, unwarranted personal attacks, and false misleading accusations on me.
Yeah, on me.
On me?
Oh my God, you guys. That's truly fucking wild.
It's wild. But like I said, clearly Kaylee's hair and makeup department.
Well, that
split.
was the funniest fucking thing.
That was the funny thing. They
Screen,
were like,
nothing. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, please find your way somehow. Just Google it. It's so bonkers, the side-by-side comparison.
Like it's like a reverse before and after.
It totally
is.
yeah,
you know,
they were
it's like a glow down that the White House press secretary just looks like, you know.
She looks how we all feel for the last 4 years. If you don't want to go look it up, however you felt from November 8th, 2016 till, currently, that's how that bitch looks. Her outside, as Busy would say, is matching her inside.
Her outside is matching her inside. She looks like she aged 47 years.
Yeah.
She also just looks damp.
She looks like a little drowned rat. She is a little drowned rat.
If the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits.
You guys, this week is bonkers. What are you doing? How are you gonna get through? Because how are you gonna get through this week?
One more thing about some fucking bullshit that I just need to. Did you guys see this was just announced? Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem are going to play Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, with Aaron Sorkin directing Being the Ricardos for Amazon Studios.
But they're old.
Well, I don't even believe he's Cuban. He's not right? I haven't looked it up yet. He's not a Cuban.
Well, and also,
person,
please, people who are the same age as Nicole Kidman, please don't bother me. I don't think that age is old. But they were in their how old were they when they started that show? Like, how old are they supposed to be in this show? Weren't they younger?
Well, but I don't know what this is. Like a film, I guess. It's set during one production week of I Love Lucy. So I literally don't know, but I just...
Okay, I'm just going to be a bitch for 5 seconds. But
Please
Nicole Kidman's face doesn't move enough to do the clown work that Lucille Ball was capable of. So I'm very interested to see what happens, because she doesn't... Obviously, she has range, but Lucille Ball studied and did a lot of mime and clown work, and I want to know how Nicole Kidman is going to do that.
It's literally just, it's ludicrous.
It's like weird casting.
Ludicrous.
To me.
She's also, Shantira, she's not American.
I know, this is true, but they never cast us for any of stuff.
I know, but wait, but by the way, but Desi Arnaz is like a Cuban American icon, right?
Yeah.
So what is Javier Bardem Cuban? I'm sorry. I'm just like, not even that I'm like a person has to play the thing that they are, but like, oh my God. But I think they kind of do, don't they? Have to play the thing that they are.
I think that it would be good. I think it would be good, but like,
guys, all I play are like dumb white girls. You know what I mean? I play what I am. Come on.
I don't know.
I
think the casting's weird.
Here's what I'll say. I never count Nicole Kidman out. She shocks me every time. For better or for worse, I'm gonna watch it because it's Nicole, whether it's like she plays Lucy and her face doesn't move so it's weird, or like she just knocks it out of the park. And Desi Arnaz was hot and Javier Bardem is hot, so I guess I'm gonna watch it. Listen, I watched Lindsay Lohan play Elizabeth Taylor, so what am I gonna try to act?
By the way, we're all watching it. We're not.
Oh yeah, we're watching. Also,
that's not in question.
Please don't bother me. I always have to give you don't bother me. That wasn't like a Botox thing. That was like when's the last time Nicole Kidman did like full-fledged comedy with her whole body? Like that is what that was.
In The Prom, she was quite funny.
But did she do like a lot of like physical comedy? That's what I'm talking about.
She
because
danced.
When I think of like full physical comedy, I think of like Kristen Wiig. Like not that Kristen Wiig should play, you know what I mean? But I'm thinking of somebody who embodies the type of like willing to like stuff their face with a bunch of like bonbons and Vita Vegemin. Like I'm thinking of like those kind of like actors. So,
yeah.
All right. You know what I'm going to say? Prove it to me, Nicole Kidman. Prove it to me.
People,
Academy Award winning.
I am just like scrolling, and people are upset about Javier Bardem because he is Spanish, and Desi Arnaz is Cuban, was Cuban.
I'd be mad too.
And it's not the same. And Hollywood always piles Latin Americans into a singular, vague identity. It's a missed opportunity to bring in a Cuban actor.
It happens it happens with Asian actors, certainly, that like, you know, people are sometimes cast like outside of what their actual culture is. I can imagine it's really frustrating.
But guys, also, am I Ethel? Am I auditioning to be Ethel?
You know what I
mean? If you're willing to put on 15 pounds more than Nicole Kidman, because wasn't that in her contract that Vivian Vance had to weigh 15 pounds more than Lucy?
I don't know. But I know she was really mad because Fred was so old.
Right now, I probably am like hovering somewhere between like 50 and 75 pounds more than Nicole Kidman, like just in my regular person.
She's very
wild.
Well, both of you have probably seen her in person. Is she itty bitty? Is she surprise tall? Is she surprise tall, or she's regular?
She's tall.
No,
she's tall, but she is like bird boned. You know what I mean? Like a tiny
I don't
human.
know how tall she is, because you know, like I think that all famous people have itty bitty bodies and they're like 5'2", but we talked about this before. Like Mariah Carey is surprise tall. She's like 5'8". So like, how tall is Kidman?
She's like 5'8".
Okay,
she's 5'11".
What?
No, I think she's
5'11". Did you Google that? Is that a Google? You just know
but
that?
I've seen her. Yeah, because like Tom Cruise is like 5'6", so I'm picturing them when they were married, standing together. And I've stood near Tom Cruise a number of times, and I know she's like a full head taller than Tom Cruise. Right? I'm gonna Google a picture.
I'm gonna just Google her height,
or I could just.
Well, that means that she's not even surprise tall. She's like extra tall, because that's above average height for us regular folks, not even us movie stars.
Watching her pose on a red carpet taught me everything I ever needed to know about posing on a red carpet, which is like the shoulders. She's 5'11". The shoulders, according to the internet, the shoulders go so far back they look like they're going to spontaneously pop back. Yeah, out and like touch, and the blades touch. Then she's sort of like curves her butt so that it's like from the back, it looks like real sticky outy. But in the front,
Really far.
it looks great and like just straight and perfect. The dresses look perfect. And then one little foot goes like gently in front of the other. And then she stands and she just is like, and her head goes, it's like one of the most magical things I've ever seen on a red carpet. And it's really impressive. She just knows how to stand so regally, and like every photo of her looks incredible. And I'm like schlumping along, like trying not to have my dress stepped on. But when I try, I imagine that I am Nicole Kidman, and I throw my shoulders back and I'm like, make them touch. And then I shoot my butt out, and I'm like, butt out, shoulders back, face relaxed.
Now, when
That's
this pandemic's over, I'm gonna be looking at you via Getty to see what's going on the next time we can go out into these streets. I'm gonna be looking for this Busy. I'm gonna looking for this shoulder touch, this butt out.
I think I've done a pretty good job over the years. It depends. It depends what I'm like.
You do a good.
I do okay now. It was like it's really hard. It's really scary to pose on red carpets. It is.
Oh,
I mean, just because people are screaming at you and like
you don't
know what you look like. And no one tells you. Like, it's very easy to pose in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
Sorry. They don't have, but you guys, they don't have them there. There are no mirrors.
I mean,
so you just,
yeah, for sure.
you don't know. That's why Tara Reid had that whole tit out that one time.
Well, but
she didn't know.
Well, probably also like,
here's the thing.
She probably just didn't even feel that.
Here's the thing. You can feel a titty out. Come on.
I think you
can feel if your titty's out. Let's just say that.
What drug is it that you can't feel your face?
Cocaine.
So maybe there's a drug where you can't feel your tits.
As somebody who literally had titty surgery, I'm fully aware that if I was out in the wind, I would feel my titty out. So I'm not going to give her a pass on that.
I think that's like, I can't feel my tits when I'm with you. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's like something else is happening.
Also, full disclosure, I think titty is the funniest word in the world. I think that you can never, ever, ever say it and it not be funny. Because, like, I could just be like, I just had surgery on my titties. Funny. And you could just be like, just brought some bra.
I do like it.
You could be like, oh, I fell down and hurt my titties. Funny. No matter what happens, titties is funny. So anytime you're feeling down, just like say titty a couple of times, be like titty, 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 and then you'll laugh because it's funny to me.
Well, hopefully, if Tara Reid is listening and she hears us talking about her titties, she'll think it's funny too.
I think titty's so funny.
I think there are 0.0 chances that she's listening. But that's fine.
I don't know.
You actually don't know. And then also there's the Sex and the City news, I guess.
Okay, so like, first of all, Samantha is the reason to watch for me. Like, that's number one. Number two, if you're going to set a show in New York and you don't cast no black people, set the show in a different fucking city. That's what I got to say about that fucking show. If that show is created, I don't care if it's 3 extras and a barista. If ain't no black people in this show, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. That's how I feel about that show.
Why don't they just have like a Samantha? Why don't they have a new? Because it's about dating in your 50s, right? That's what they're saying.
I don't know.
So why don't we get? This is time for Angela Bassett. I know is she older than her 50s?
Angela Bassett is 60, baby.
Matter.
She's 60.
It doesn't matter. She could play their contemporary. Why don't we get Angela Bassett in there as the Samantha proxy? The really like hypersexual
hot bitch. She could pull it off.
Baby.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even need them. Obviously. They can still have their trio. But like, it's just one of those things. Girls did it. Fucking Gossip Girl did it. The reboot of Gossip Girl is probably about to do it. Have you ever been in New York? And here's the thing. If you're in your own circle, fine. Have your all white circle. You can't just be walking down the street in New York and don't see nobody else. Like, you can accidentally see, like, I don't know, an Asian person in New York. Like, how can you cast the show that is in New York for like 6 years and just like not even any extras? I'm upset.
I do feel that. That does seem
That's
Lame.
bonkers. That's bonkers. So like,
Well, it's like Friends too.
yeah. So like, it's fine. Like, obviously, that because you hang out with who you hang out with. That's fine. But like, stop setting shows in New York and making them all white. HBO.
I'm just always surprised at how much hubbub it causes whenever they announce anything having to do with Sex in the City.
I think that it's like it calls back to like a very nostalgic time that
The
for
very
a,
transphobic, anti-black time of Sex
Yeah.
in the City.
kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's so interesting, like, when you look back at, like, the stuff that just doesn't fucking hold
Oh,
up,
yeah.
you know? But at the time, that was just, like, and it reinforced a lot of really terrible, you know, ideas, like my own, you know, it didn't help me course correct any sort of, like, bad patriarchal messaging that I had gotten growing up by watching all the seasons of Sex in the City when Emily Beebe and I moved into our first apartment together.
It also reinforced terrible ideas about what a freelance writer can afford for shoes.
It was a lot of bad stuff, but it was like weirdly so satisfying to watch in a weird way.
I mean, it was of the times. It was very much of the times. Most of what they did will not fly now. And even Samantha, who was like so sexually fluid, said a bunch of fucked up shit. So I think that like they have an opportunity, obviously, to show these women, I think at this age, with a lot of growth. Like to be like, oh, remember we used to do that 17 years ago? That was bad, but we've grown. And I think that there's so much room for that in this show. But I probably won't watch it, so I'm just being an asshole.
I probably won't watch it anyway either, just because I like never watch anything anymore. It's just too exhausting. But you know what I am gonna watch?
What?
The show that I'm on, Girls 5 Eva, because it is so fucking wild. And
I can't wait.
I love it.
I'm obsessed with everybody in it.
I love it so much. I love it. I'm so happy to have the job. There's been a lot of really terrible fucking shit. I mean, that goes without saying. But I have to say that this like surprise twist of this show, I don't know, is like one of the only very, very good things I feel like that I'm excited about and I get to work with.
That's coming to TV.
It's coming to streaming. It's coming to Peacock, which is NBC,
which will be
streaming
on
thing.
a television. I'm gonna get it. I mean, I have it, but I want to.
I can't wait.
That does bring us to today's guest.
That's why I started the seg.
And then you forgot.
No, I was looking because I was like, there was something else that just popped up on Twitter, and I was like, fuck, do we even go get into it? No, we don't get into it. You know why? Because there's not enough time for all the fucking bullshit that's happening. You know what I mean?
I haven't even said what I was doing my best at this week.
What is it? What are you doing? What are you doing your best at?
Nothing.
That's not true. Don't bring it up if you're not going to tell
That's
us.
right.
No, I was going to say, I just realized that I never got to it, but it doesn't matter because I don't even know
what is
what
it.
I've not been doing great this week. I've not been doing great.
Honestly,
Me neither.
Usually we would press on that, but like you know what I mean? Usually we would.
I'm just like shorted out, you know? I'm just like not, when people ask me questions, I've been saying I don't know the answer, even when I do know, just because I don't even want to say. I'm just like, I don't know. And I just am having a hard time like getting any task done. My attention is terrible. So, you know. Anyway, let's intro Andrew Rannells, our guest.
I just read something from the person that I hate so much now on Twitter. And I almost just had to like take a beat. As you were saying that you aren't doing your best at anything this week. And honestly, I'm not really either. I just made that up, Caissie. But you can make something up. And Shantira, what are you doing your best at?
She said she was like reading back over her old journals.
Oh, right. Well, guys, listen. One thing that I'm very grateful for is that I get to do this job, this Girls 5 Eva job. I hope that everybody gets to see it. It's so fun and insane. Oh my God, you guys, there's so much that we didn't talk about. The Kim Kanye divorce thing, Jeffree Star. Who fucking knows? Who cares? I don't know. I don't know. Vogue. Oh, the Vogue Kamala thing was a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Because fucking Anna Wintour, they haven't confirmed that it was her, but it's her. She's the only person who's in charge of everything at Vogue. Changed the picture without telling Kamala's team.
Yeah, I don't understand why they would do that. Like, Anna Wintour,
I mean,
fucking knock it off. You know what I mean?
It seems,
What?
it
Are you
seems
not
a
going to put me
little-
on the cover of Vogue now, Anna Wintour? Oh, shit. Am I not going to get invited to the fucking Met Ball?
It feels like the very definition of passive aggressive. Like, it's so passive because you don't look as good as you wanted to look on the cover of Vogue. But also, like, it's a very candid, not professional, not badass looking photo that they decided to go with. And like, she's the new vice president of the United States. So it feels passive aggressive.
It seems weird. It does seem weird.
it's very anti-black. Anna Wintour is anti-black. She has a
Ugh.
history of being anti-black. She has a history of picking bad lighting, bad pictures, poor coloring
Wait.
for people of
Can I
color.
ask you-
She has a history of that. And this is just another example of her. That is going to be the first example worldwide of the first Black woman to ever be vice president of the United States. Anna Wintour knows how to fucking pick pictures, and she knows exactly what she fucking did.
Shantira's mad. And
I am really mad.
I'm with you. The only thing I would say is that, like, I thought that there was, like, nice symbolism to the colors being the colors of her sorority.
There is, but
Yeah.
it's just not a great photo.
It shouldn't be
her.
it shouldn't be the cover of the magazine.
Right.
Also, her team said that wasn't even supposed to be in the spread.
Oh shit! Really?
They did not pick that
Ugh.
photo at all.
Come on, Anna Wintour.
So,
What
like-
the fuck?
I mean,
So, like, I think, and obviously, like, she's also obsessed with Michelle Obama. So, like, you can still be anti-black and still love Black people in an essence. Like, fucking
say
Thomas
that that's your
Jefferson
Oprah
did it all
moment.
it's like you can still be anti-black and love Black people in an essence. Like, people love our culture, they don't want to be Black. Thomas Jefferson has a bunch of Black kids, but he still fucking owned them. You know what I'm saying? So her obsession with Black fashion, her obsession with ball culture, her obsession with Michelle Obama does not negate her anti-Blackness, her history of anti-Blackness. Everybody loves Michelle Obama.
Mhm.
So fuck her.
All right.
Also, as someone who probably will never get to go to the Met Ball, you know, YOLO.
I mean, that's what I think. But also, I always wanted to go to the Met Ball, but also, fuck her. I don't care. You know what I mean?
We can go when she passes.
Or we can make our own fucking Met Ball, Shantira.
Leanne's in charge. You know I'm
Yeah.
not trying to plan no party.
Yeah. the wet ball.
Oh my god. All right.
That's probably a thing somewhere.
So now let's get to the most delightful human. We love him. He's been to the Met Ball. He tells us a story
Sure.
about it.
He talks about it. Shantira, you're going to be hearing it for the first time because you were busy working and you couldn't do the interview.
Shantira's really been working hard. And
You guys, I've been working.
I also
I
been
have some
working,
jobs.
and our schedule did not line up this week when we sat down with my friend and someone that I've been working with on Girls 5 Eva, the most amazing, Andrew Rannells. Guys, I've talked about Bev before. You know what it is. It's Rosé, Sauv Blanc, Pinot Gris that are a little fizzy, dry, delicious, crisp, super refreshing, 0 sugar, 3 carbs, 100 calories per serving. The cans are cute and tiny, but each can's a glass and a half of wine. And you know what? That's perfect for me every night this past week. It's really so easy, especially because I like to drink rosé and I'm the only person in my house that does. Bev is also female founded and run. I love that these women are making waves in a very almost exclusively masculine industry. They're breaking norms and creating something that's from the female perspective. It's approachable, it's fun, it's consumer centric. I love it. Anyway, their 4-packs are the perfect and cutest gift when you go visit any friends outside, out back, when you're sitting 6 feet away from people. And it ships straight to your door. And shipping is always free. Listen, I love it. And you know I've talked about it before. It's truly one of my favorite things. I've been drinking the rosé. Tonight I had the Pinot Gris. We've worked out an exclusive deal for Busy Phillips is Doing Your Best podcast listeners. You can receive 20% off your first purchase plus free shipping on all orders. I suggest trying their best-selling Ladies Night variety pack. So you can just check them out, all the delicious varietals. Go to drinkbev.com/busy or use code busy at checkout to claim the deal. That's drinkbev.com/busy. Guys, get Bev. Each and Every's natural deodorant lets me do good and feel good and smell good. It's the perfect start to cleaning up your beauty routine in 2021. You guys, I love it. I use it every day. I'm very into natural deodorant, and I'm also into trying to switch to more clean beauty products and be aware of the impact that I have on the environment. You know, Each and Every is made from clean ingredients that feel great on my skin. They smell incredible. Really love them. It's vegan and cruelty-free. Even the packaging is good for the planet. And it's not like other natural deodorants. It goes on very smooth. There's no residue. It smells great throughout the day. Each and Every has been found to provide odor protection equal to antiperspirant without aluminum. There's no parabens, no baking soda, no synthetic fragrances. The formula is made of 6 simple ingredients. I mean, that's it. 6 simple ingredients like Dead Sea salt, coconut oil. It keeps you dry and odor-free all day without irritating your skin. And the natural essential oils and extracts smell amazing. They're gender inclusive, cedar and vanilla, cardamom and ginger. You're going to want to try them all. If you haven't made the switch yet to Each and Every, now is the time. Start with a set to find your favorite scent. And right now, our listeners get 30% off their first purchase, but you have to order today. So go to eachandevery.com/best and use promo code BEST. That's promo code BEST at eachandevery.com/best for 30% off. Go get your clean pits.
It's like we're doing a cabaret.
Did you have drinks last night after we wrapped?
Sure did, babe.
Yeah, because it was so fucking cold.
I needed to just to get warm. I needed to have some bourbon just to get right.
Caisie's making a face as though the answer's not good. Because here's the thing. Here's what we're going to say. We're going to just say this right now.
We're working together?
Yeah, but if we're not allowed to talk about it, we just won't say that we're in the same room.
Yeah, I guess let's just say it. And if
or we're both working on the same studio.
We're working for the Peacock.
We're both at the same...
I mean,
anyway,
I was really hoping to run into Mariska today or Iced Tea, but no such luck.
Andrew just went and got his COVID test at the SVU stages so that he didn't have to schlep all the way to Kaufman Astoria.
I was a little bit of a brat about it.
Because without giving away our location, but we're in the city, so we're closer to SVU films at Chelsea Piers. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows
Everyone
that.
in New York knows that. But anyway, I went there and got tested a few times and never saw anyone famous either.
Well, it was funny when I got there, the nurse who was checking me in, there's 2, and one of them was like, she went, "Ugh, somebody from Girls 5 Eva is here to test." And I said,
she was so motivated.
And I was like, "That's me." And she went, "Oh, great. How's it going?" And I was like, "It's going well."
That's so rude. I'm sad you didn't see Mariska Hargitay because have you ever seen her in person?
Oh, yes.
She's the most luminous, beautiful human alive.
Radiant.
My ex-boyfriend was on SVU, so I've spent lots of time with Miss Hargitay.
There you go.
Even in the house. Even in her Hamptons compound.
Oh,
wow.
my.
Formerly owned by Jemima Kirk's mother.
Who's her mother?
Her mother is an interior designer who owned that house. What's her name? Lorraine. Lorraine Kirk.
Lorraine Kirk.
Lorraine Kirk.
Yes, she's a character. Let's just say I'm on it. I think we just do it.
Rannells is making the call.
Yeah, I think we say I'm on it, and then...
So, guys, we're so lucky today because we're talking to the one and only legend. Are you going to be a legend? I think you will be I think people will refer to you when you're old and...
You think?
Yeah, I think you'll be
Maybe
like...
my family.
Well, I think you'll be like Yeah, like you'll be a legend.
We were discussing.
An icon?
We were discussing yesterday with Eric. Actually, will I get an in memoriam on the Emmys?
Of course you would if you died today.
Obviously, yeah, 100%.
Would I be included?
Not in question.
And what clip would they show? And I fear.
I don't know if you would get a clip or just a photo.
Well, it'd be like a photo, but like what photo? Like, is it going to be like a young photo?
They always do that. They always pander and do like young and hot.
But what if it's like that? Like, what if it's that
from this?
From what we did yesterday?
We don't want to give away. We don't want to give away all of the secrets. But the reason why we're sitting next to each other in my dining room, even in COVID vibes, Andrew and I can sit directly next to each other and do this podcast because we've been tested. We're testing.
We're tested at the Yahoo. I mean.
So much.
Yeah.
That girl really went deep yesterday for me. Up in my nose.
The gal who did mine said, "Your nose is very dry. Are you hydrating enough?" And I was like, "Ma'am, it's very early. And I was wearing a mask and it's cold out. Like, please don't question my hydration."
Did I ever tell you about the time when that doctor accused me of doing too much coke?
No, but please do.
Okay, so I was doing this sitcom called Love, Inc. And it was around when I was getting started to get my really intense bad sinus infections. And how old was I? Like 25? Yeah, I was like 25 years old. And Zicam had just come on the market.
Sure, babe.
You're familiar with Zicam, but it had literally just come on the market.
That's when people lost their smell because of it.
Well,
my husband still can't smell to this day from like a Zicam run-in in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, we're all in the same area. So basically I was doing this sitcom in front of a live audience on the former UPN and network, and I was getting sick and I was fighting it all week and I was using so much Zicam. Like I was just overdosing on Zicam because people were saying like that will prevent you from getting sick. So then show day comes and I wake up and I am like massively sick. And there's nothing you can do. As they say, the show must go on. But what they do is they like bring a doctor to the set for you who will like.
There's like Judy Garland doctors.
They're totally, and they will give you like a shot of steroids. So
my favorite.
You get through the show. Favorite. Did you ever have to do that on Book of Mormon?
Yeah, there's like a short list of doctors that would come and just give you the shot, and you could perform. And you perform like a champ.
Well,
yeah,
I'm sure it's like maybe
like
the best performances of your life. So the doctor comes to Love, Inc. and he comes into my dressing room and he does the whole thing and he's like, yeah, you definitely have like a bad cold, maybe a sinus infection. I give you a shot and these antibiotics and whatever. And then he like the door was ajar and he like was like, but we need to talk. And he shut the door and he was like, we need to talk about the Coke. And I was like, what? What are you
just because you're like a blonde actress?
No,
he
because
just assumed
he looked up my nose, and what he saw was that the Zicam was like eating away at like the inside of my nose in the same way that I guess doing a lot of cocaine, snorting.
That's called crack.
Snorting. Ooh, I like that now. I can hear you really well.
Now you can hear me. It's like NPR.
Snorting a bunch of cocaine essentially, I guess, damages your nasal lining in the same way that the Zicam was damaging mine. And it was so confusing because he and I had this like standoff where I was like, dude, I don't do Coke. In fact, true hand to God, have never snorted any drug up my nose ever.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I'm just saying I never have.
How many drugs are snortable?
Lots. Like all of them?
Adderall.
Cocaine.
Sudafed.
A pseudoephedrine.
Dexatrim.
And we never introduced Andrew, really.
Oh.
Well, I said I started it. I think you're not listening to me today.
My name is Andrew Rannells, and I'm very happy to be here.
We're so excited to welcome our guest, Andrew Rannells, a legend of stage and screen, certainly an icon in
Chelsea.
An icon in Chelsea.
A Chelsea icon.
A true Chelsea icon. And
parts of Hell's Kitchen.
Currently, Andrew and I have the pleasure of working together. Therefore, as our guest today. He's sitting with me in my dining room, which is so nice to have a live guest.
You have not had one in a bit.
Not one, ever.
Ever.
Wowza.
Never.
This is a podcast that started technically started pre-pandemic, but then the pandemic happened and we threw everything away, and then we rethought of what the podcast was going to be, and so we didn't start it until well into pandemic.
So you couldn't have guests
Ever. I mean, we've had them over Zoom.
Have
like
you done like talk shows and stuff during this time? Have you been in studio for anything?
Yeah, I've done no, I haven't been in studio for anything, but I've done a couple things via Zoom. I did like Seth Meyers. I did some other stuff.
I went to Jimmy Fallon
For prom.
for the prom, and I went to Drew
Is it called
Barrymore.
The Prom?
The prom.
But doesn't The Prom sound like a horror movie?
The prom.
And like
Yeah, a
prom
little bit.
sounds like a fun
Prom. Yeah, but I guess technically
Prom.
it's the prom.
Prom the musical.
Yeah.
The Prom.
The prom. The Purge.
It sounds like the Prom. The
I guess it
Purge.
could be a horror film.
I bet there is a horror movie called The Prom.
I'm sure.
Probably. We should make it.
Wait, I mean, why aren't we?
It's done.
It's sold.
It's sold.
Call Ryan
Eric.
Murphy. Call Ryan Murphy. That's the guy.
Yeah,
It
he'll
is
do
called,
it.
It is called Carrie.
That's
true.
true.
Oh, we're really, by the way, if we start just like saying the exact same thing, we're really in a groove because we've been working together
Yes.
every day this week. So now we're in that like weird
Just
comedy.
We get
matching
it.
energy.
We really get it.
We had a really great week together. We have more stuff in the future, which is so fun, and it gets insane. But we can't tell you guys about it. You're just going to have to wait until it comes out on Peacock. But you have so much stuff. Do you ever stop working?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, yes, but this year I've been very lucky because I went.
You're on.
You know, when you have those years where you just go from like job to job, and
That's what this
it's
has been.
really like it's always this because I don't know if you feel this way, but always as an actor, I'm like, well, this is my last job.
Of course.
I'll
Yeah.
never be doing this again.
Yeah.
I'll be found out after this one.
I never think that. I just like, I hate the industry so much that
Oh,
I feel like it's,
I just feel like I'm going to be rejected constantly,
well, because you are.
which is why I'm in this
Right.
business, I guess.
Yes.
Not enough hugs.
Oh, honey. Why are you in this business? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about pivots and how you started. If you want to see, if you're at home and you're like, oh, Andrew Rannells, I remember him from Girls. I loved him on that show. I love him on Black Monday. Is that show coming back?
It sure is.
That's
I
great.
love Black Monday. It's so good, and
Thank
you're
you.
so good in it. And I love that you're playing kind of like a sassy bad guy.
Yeah, it's fun because usually I don't get to do that, but they made me into a real creeper,
I love it.
which was really fun. And
the prom was a big hit over the Christmas holidays.
yes, and it was the first movie musical I've ever done. Of course, I've done a lot of musicals, live musicals, but never done a movie musical. So it was really fun to get to do like a big old-timey musical.
I saw the prom on Broadway with the kids. We loved it. And I thought that the adaptation for the movie was incredible. And you're so good in it.
Thank you.
I
think
love
I
it.
think Ryan did a really lovely job about, figuring out what to expand, what not to expand. I mean, because basically it is the same Broadway show,
yes.
but then he took a couple moments. We have some really great moments with Tracy Ullman,
Mhm.
who plays James Corden's mother. She was not a character in the Broadway play, but we kind of got to, open it up a little bit. And
Mhm.
yeah. Ryan, I don't think I'm the first person to say this, but he's real talented. Ryan Murphy.
He can do a lot of things.
He's
gonna be
real
a
good
big
at what he
deal
does.
one day.
He's real good at his job.
I auditioned for Glee. Did you audition for Glee?
I did not. No.
What were you doing then?
I was a replacement in Jersey Boys on Broadway, and
On Broadway?
and I had I was one of Matt Morrison's replacements in Hairspray, so I was friends with Matt. And when that happened, I was like, "Why am I not on the show?" But I was pushing it. Like at that point,
But
I
you
was
got
already
the baby face.
But
you
I was
would have just had
already-
to shave like 7 times a day.
I was like 29. I was like, "Oh, I think I can't be pulling a high school student."
You could have
right
been Matt
now.
Morrison.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Matt was awful good on that show. Like that's.
I've never watched Glee.
Is there like a Leah Michelle feud we should talk
No,
about?
no,
or-
I didn't. I wasn't auditioning for a high school student. Jesus, I was auditioning for one of the teachers. I can't remember.
Okay.
And then
Or
you
the
just you couldn't
wife?
you couldn't watch it because you
No, I just wasn't. I just didn't.
But
And
do you do
then-
that when you? Because I hold grudges sometimes.
Well, I
I'm
hold
not
grudges
as
always.
much, not as much anymore. But I used to really just shake my fist at certain projects.
Depends what it is. I think when I get what I would, if I got down to the line for something, and then I felt like if I felt like I didn't love the way it was handled at the end, yes, I always hold a grudge.
You know what happens? You know what
What?
happens to me is like I'm a writer, not an actor, obviously. But whenever I'm trying to get a job, I have to let myself fall in love with the idea of having that job and picture myself in it, picture that it's mine. And then so when you find out that it's not yours, it is like getting cheated on.
Absolutely. And I always skip ahead. Busy, I don't know if you do this, but the second I audition for something, I'm also doing an Emmy acceptance speech. I'm like, this is a game changer.
Did you?
I really go 6 steps ahead.
So you're from so you're from Nebraska,
That's right.
and you wanted to do what with your life? What was you moved out to New York when you were 18 or
19. I just
19?
turned 19. Musical theater. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be on Broadway. I fell in love with musical theater.
Did you go to Carnegie Mellon or something?
I did not. I went to a school called Marymount Manhattan on the Upper East Side.
I went to Loyola Marymount University in LA. Yeah.
Jesuits.
Yeah.
Yes, and I left after about 2 years.
Me too.
Because I started working.
Me
and I was like,
too.
peace out.
Oh my God, are we the same person?
We're the same person. No, but all I wanted to do was musical theater. So I came to New York with a very specific goal of I wanted to sing and dance on the Broadway.
And how was the journey for you? Did you have any early setbacks where you were like, well, maybe I'll just go do this other thing instead?
Yeah, I did. I auditioned. I was kind of working and was auditioning a lot and really trying to make it happen. And then other people around me were making it happen. And I got very discouraged
Was
around.
it like Matt Morrison?
It was like Matt Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Uh-huh.
Matt and my friend Gavin Creel. And
Ooh, hair.
Yes. And my friend Jen Gambatese. All of those people got there faster than I did. So around 23, I took a 2-year break. I took a job. I directed Saturday morning cartoons.
What?
Yeah, I directed. It was a company called 4Kids Entertainment, and I directed Sonic the Hedgehog and Kirby for Nintendo.
What?
And I did that for 2 years, and I was like,
Steady paycheck,
and it was and in some ways, it was very comfortable
and
because,
creative-ish.
yeah, ish, and I knew what I was doing, but and then I got sucked back in. I got a phone call from a casting director. This was 2 years into.
And had you
this job.
stopped auditioning?
Yeah, just totally stopped.
You were
Totally
like,
stopped.
this isn't happening.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen for me, and
At 23 years old,
I
you
know.
decided.
And 23, I felt very old.
Me too, though.
Yeah.
Me too.
I was like, I've been doing this for too long,
Yes.
and I just hate it. So I stopped,
weird.
and then this casting director from Bernie Telsey called me.
Bernie Telsey, guys, sometimes we take Hollywood breaks on this show. This
a
is
Hollywood break.
this is a real Broadway break.
It's a Broadway break.
This isn't even if you're in Hollywood and you just do TV and film, you don't know Bernie Telsey.
Probably not. Yeah.
You really don't. But I do because I
Broadway.
thought, after Dawson's Creek, I thought I was like, maybe my next move is to go do Broadway. And that's how I ended up in that Crybaby workshop, the very first one.
Yep. Yep. We'll leave that there.
You were not thrilled that you weren't cast in that.
No, because I was doing Hairspray at the time, and it was John Waters, and it was it's like a similar group of people, and a lot of people from Hairspray were in Crybaby,
Yeah.
and I just thought oh, maybe I have a good inroad here, and I did not. But Bernie Telsey called me, and he was
but Bernie Telsey, I never got to that. Bernie Telsey is the biggest.
He's a huge casting
very,
director.
very big Broadway casting director.
Yes.
All the big musicals.
Yeah.
And I was lucky at that time that he liked me. So when I was like, I think I'm going to do Broadway, I'm going to switch careers from television and film and be a Broadway actor. He did bring me in for several years for everything.
Yeah, he's very good. If you're on the list, he's real good about it. But he called me out of the blue and asked me to come in for a musical called Taboo, which was the Boy George musical that Rosie O'Donnell was producing.
Oh, wait,
I know it
because
well.
Casey worked for Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, okay. Yes. So Rosie O'Donnell, it was a big news in New York that she was the sole producer of that musical.
Yes.
It was a real
Casey,
David.
were you still with her? at that time?
No, this was post the Rosie O'Donnell show. It was like her first big project post Rosie, I think.
Yeah. And it was like a real David Merrick sitch where she was like the only producer on this show. And they were casting this one part. So I went in and I got very close. I was like down to the end, the bitter end. And in fact, Rosie O'Donnell told me to my face in the audition room that I did not get the job.
Did you appreciate that?
I did.
I did too.
I
do too.
Because she let me off the hook. I auditioned and I like tried my damnedest. And then she was like, honey, you're very talented. This is not for you.
Well,
and that was it. But I appreciated it because then I could leave the room and there was not that horrible like 2 hours after you audition for something.
Where you're waiting for the call.
And so I just, walked away and was sad. But then that got me hooked back into auditioning. So I quit my job and I started auditioning. And then Bernie Telsey cast me in Hairspray. And that restarted my...
And so Hairspray was not, you were a replacement?
I was a replacement, yeah.
And you came in and were you corny?
I was the pivotal role of Fender in the ensemble.
I know John Hill as well.
Yes, I replaced John Hill. Yes. So I replaced John Hill, and then I
was this a second group of Hairspray cast?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I became Link Larkin.
Link Larkin.
I was yes. So I did that for a while, and then was fired. And,
you were?
Well, contracts run out on Broadway, and
how does that work?
They like to bring in new people, so they.
Do you age out of Hairspray though too?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't too old to do it at the time, but they like to reinvigorate the group, and they just they let people go. So I was let go, and that was a real life lesson.
And what happened when you were let go from Hairspray? Because how long was your contract? 2 years?
I did 9 months in the ensemble and 9 months as Link Larkin.
Ooh, that's nice.
And then they said, bye-bye.
Were you surprised when they let you go? Or
yeah, I was surprised and devastated. Although this was almost 4 years into the Hairspray run, and as Broadway shows often do, it becomes the Love Boat. So they start bringing in like every American Idol cast off, everyone who was ever on Big Brother or The Real World. Like people start popping up who probably have no business being in a musical. I was luckily replaced with someone who was very talented named Aaron Tveit, who was doing Moulin Rouge on Broadway right now and has done a lot of things. But he was the one who came in and replaced me. But it was sad days.
And you were bummed?
I was bummed, but you just keep going.
You
just keep going.
You just felt like, I'm just going to keep.
Yeah. So, and I like bounced around to some other shows and then landed in Jersey Boys for a while.
Okay. So Jersey Boys, you were the understudy.
No. I was one of the boys.
Wait, I thought when we were talking last night, I thought you were, was that?
An understudy? No, that was Hairspray that I understudied, which is a very hard job. That's a really hard job because I had my own little part in the ensemble, and then I covered Link Larkin, Corny Collins, and a pivotal role called the male authority figure, who at that time was played by Jim J. Bullock.
Oh my God.
Yes. So here I was at 26 playing the character actor, and they told me, you'll never go on. You'll never have to do this. And then sure enough, I went on a bunch. I had to play like the old man and be like, Tracy Turnblad, you're on there. Like, it was humiliating.
That's
just like
so
wigs and
weird.
glasses and like age makeup. It was really.
Okay, so I want to know, how did Book of Mormon happen? Did you do all of the workshops? So
I didn't. That just came about. It was just, it was an audition. I was a part of that year I was a part of 3 different new musicals, like readings and stuff. And you're just kind of waiting to see.
This is the thing about Broadway that's fascinating to me. And what I learned when I dipped I'm going to say my pinky toe in the waters.
No, you were in
the old Broadway.
Hon, you were fully in it.
I did one.
But you were in that workshop.
First workshop, the very first one. And then I never went. They invited me back for the other ones. And I was like, I'm good. Thanks. I did it.
Turns out not for me.
Not for me. You guys hustle way too fucking hard. So what I didn't understand about Broadway actors and what you all do, and I learned during that Crybaby workshop, because it was populated with a lot of Hairspray people, is that even if you're on a Broadway show, you have to try to hustle to get auditions to get cast in other workshops of shows that might possibly end up on Broadway or might possibly end up at the Public or might possibly end up somewhere else or could be whatever. You don't even know because you want to do those so that if those end up getting financed and going, maybe they will bring you in.
Yeah, it's all a bit of a crapshoot though, because like, you know, shows then like if you do get one, you get cast in one and it goes, it might not run.
Right.
So it's really tricky to sort of figure out, like you have to hedge your bets a little bit to be like, well, am I leaving a good job to take a better job, or is this going to be
right? Which is why sometimes like you'll go see like I don't know, people at home someday will return to the stages, but if you like take your kids to see like one of the like long running shows on Broadway, like Lion King or Wicked or something like that. There's always like people in the cast that are like, this is their 13th year with Wicked because they're like, I am like in this part. This is my job.
I had a friend who did Chicago for 20 years.
Fuck off. Really?
Yeah.
I was asked at one point to come in to Chicago. Like,
did you consider it?
No, because I was like, it was literally following like somebody from like American Idol, not American Idol,
like a
that's
Real
even,
Housewife. Was it? Like
it was like it was like
or something.
Yeah, it was like it was like following like Brandy Glanville. No, like
literally Brandy.
Glanville?
She was great. I mean,
Brandy
there is
did
a
it.
Brandy Glanville. Did she?
I don't know who that is.
She was married to Eddie Cibrian.
It might have been Leanne Rimes.
Oh,
did she do Chicago?
If
Twist.
you just
she might
mistook
have.
Leanne Rimes for Brandy Glanville, you just caused a whole other year of drama in that family.
Well,
Yikes.
I don't. Please, let's just cut it
But
out.
are
I don't
they-
want to cause any drama.
But are they still together, Eddie and
Who cares? Are we
I
interested?
think
Is this
so?
maybe
is this
it was
the hot goss?
maybe
we
it
need?
was true love.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, you never know.
You just don't know.
You never know.
We don't know what's in people's hearts.
By the way, I'm never judgy.
Oh, I am.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
I'll judge my face off.
I'm
mean,
not.
I'll smile to your face. It's called manners, Busy. Like, I would never say anything mean to your face. I'll talk shit about you behind your back.
I'm not judgy. I'm not judgy about anything.
I'm from Nebraska. That's how it works.
For, I don't know what else. I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. Okay, wait. So you get cast in Book of Mormon,
Yes.
and from the second you're cast, are you like, holy fuck, this is the best thing ever? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
Are you nervous? Were you nervous?
Terrified, because I joined right at the end, so they had done 2 readings and 1 workshop. So
And
they
was
had been working on it for a while.
Dad, a part of it from the beginning?
Totally from the beginning, yeah.
And who was your part?
A few people. They kept replacing.
Right, because they didn't get it right till they got you.
Well, I guess. I
That's
don't know.
the
That's what I
truth.
tell myself.
That's
That's
the
what I say in the
story.
mirror. But so they kept replacing that role. So I was very nervous. And I came in for the last workshop, and they didn't offer like Broadway contracts. They were like, this is just for the workshop. So I was, really white knuckled that part. And I tried to make it as personal as possible, and also made the singing as high as possible so that they couldn't replace me.
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
So I was like, Stephen Aremus, who's a musical director, is a good friend of mine, and we would be in rehearsals, and I would be like, let's raise the key. And he was like, really? And I was like, yep, let's do it. So I made it so high and so like
Specific to you.
specific to me that like no one else, so they couldn't hear anyone else doing it.
Wait,
Well,
first
That's
of all,
called showbiz.
That's genius. to
First
give
of all,
yourself-
that's genius.
Yeah, and I saw you in Book of Mormon. I got to
Me
see
too,
you,
me too.
And you were impossible to look away from.
Yeah,
Thank
you were
you.
such a
That's
fucking
very
star
nice.
from like the second you walk on stage.
That's very nice.
I told Rannells this, but I bought scalped tickets from like Barry's tickets to go see Book of Mormon.
God, that's very sweet.
I paid so much money, and I
Wow.
took Michelle, and we sat in like the 4th row, and it was very exciting.
It was that was the crazy part about doing that show, was like all of the people that came to see it, because that's not usually the case with Broadway shows, that like it's like celebrity after celebrity, and like every night there was some random people that Josh and I would like look into the audience and be like, oh my God, Goldie Hawn is here.
There were
famous people when I was there. Yeah.
I'm saying like there
Oprah
were
came. Like
yeah. Did you get to
And
take a picture with Oprah?
I sure did. I took a picture with Oprah. Her eyes are closed, and Gail And Gayle King's blouse had come unbuttoned, so her brassiere is showing.
God giveth and God taketh away.
I know, and I didn't want to ask to retake it. So
what? That is the most.
So I just let it go.
Oh my God, can I get somebody that I know that it's like really good at Photoshop to just like make that picture
open
something.
Her eyes.
Open Oprah's eyes and close Gayle's blouse so that can be like framed for you.
No, it's just not going to happen. But I will say, I will say,
I do have to see it though.
Since that moment,
you have to text it to me.
Gayle King has this amazing skill that some people have. I do not, where she remembers like faces and names. Like she's like a politician. Like so every time I see her, that was almost 10 years ago. Anytime I see Gayle King, she's like Andrew Rannells. Like she's very good
You're also
at like
famous.
Well, not for Gayle King, but like
if anyone,
but she's so nice. Like she's always so like warm and lovely and like yeah, she remembers things about you from the last time you talked. It's really. I ran into her at the opening night of To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway, and she was with Oprah. And I made like a weird decision that I was like, I'm going in. I'm going to go in.
That's a wild call. Guys, if you ever see Oprah in the Wild with Gayle King, the decision to go in is...
Don't. Yeah, you shouldn't do it.
What happened?
So I decided, I was like, watch this. I'm going in for Gayle. So I went in for Gayle. And I was like, Gayle! And it was me, Andrew Rannells. And she was like, hi. And then we were chatting and I did the fakest like, oh, Oprah's here. Like I did like a
No, you did not.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Like I didn't see Oprah.
Oh, no.
I just went straight because like Gayle and I had like a rapport. So I was like, well, that seems normal. But then I did like the worst acting job ever. Also that night, I'll tell you all the stories. Also that night, Hugh Jackman was there, who I'm obsessed with.
Obvi.
And who's always been very kind to me and like really lovely. So I also, said hello to him. He was sitting behind me. And I kept...
With Deborah?
I kept hugging him.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Until my friend, Sean Dooley, put his hand on my back and went, stop it. Because clearly I was making him uncomfortable. Because I just kept I'd be like, oh, it's good to see you. And then he would ask a question.
And then you would hug him again? What?
And then I would say something and then I would hug him. No, I was just wanted to be near him.
You just wanted to hug? You wanted him to hold you like a baby.
Well, so the year of the Book of Mormon and I performed on the Tonys, he performed right before me. So he was backstage getting his microphone on and I was getting my microphone on and he was like, how you feeling? And I was like, I'm very nervous. And he went, come here. And he hugged me and he gave me a hug and he said, he was like, you're going to be fine. And he sort of rocked me a second and I nuzzled into his neck.
Oh my God.
In a really inappropriate way.
It sounds like you're almost always inappropriate with Hugh Jackman.
Like restraining order.
I mean, he did rock you. He opened
the
door by rocking you.
He was doing
he was trying to be just cool, and I took it too far.
You took it. Well, I mean,
by the way, that could be the alternate title for your book.
Yeah.
It could have been I took it too far.
I took it too far.
I
always do.
Me too.
Wait, I want to tell you a quick story. When I worked at Rosie, we had a daycare where our children went. And so my older son was in the daycare. And one day Hugh Jackman was a guest on the show. And I went to go get my son for lunch. He was in the corner playing blocks with Hugh Jackman. And Hugh Jackman turned over my son to me and said, this is a fantastic child. I hope if I ever have a child one day, it's like your child. But so you saying
that is amazing.
You telling me about him rocking you, that makes sense. He was being
he's very nurturing. Yeah.
Paternal to you.
Do they have children, him and Deborah?
I don't know. Don't know. He's and she's also very lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I've scared her a couple times too.
Well, I would imagine. I would just think you just hugging her husband and not stopping.
I know. I cozied up to her at the Met Ball one year, and she looked. I saw a look in her face that I will have to live with until I die. Where she was basically fuck off. I just kept, not really, but I just kept trying to chat with her, and I'd be like, so what else? And she was like, please leave.
We've gone. We can't do this
I
any
don't have
longer. I
time.
have nothing else to give you.
You know when you run out at
Yes,
those parties
yes,
and you're
I
like,
do.
I just have to tap out right now?
Oh God, I hate it though. I do hate it.
Because you never say goodbye at those things. You're like, it's just
No.
like half chats.
Yes.
Yeah. And this was early in the night. This isn't even when like
But
all
those
of
things
the
are so
actresses
stressful,
are drunk.
I would imagine. I
The,
don't know. I've
the
never
Met
been.
Ball is super fun because you get to see like every young actress like wasted and crying at the end of the night.
I love that.
Just like fighting on their like, he didn't call me. And like everyone's shouting.
God,
And
no matter what it is, it's all the same.
it's all the same.
It's all the fucking same. You guys
Yeah.
out there listening, you at the well, not right now, but
yeah.
pre and hopefully post Coves
At the club.
at the local club on Friday night is no different than Kendall Jenner at the Met Ball.
No, you're holding your shoes and you're crying into a cell phone.
And you're like, should I get a street hot dog?
yeah.
What about 10?
Oh my God.
So your performance was transformative in Book of Mormon.
You're nice.
You're so out of your fucking mind.
Weren't
First
you
of all,
nominated for a Tony?
didn't you win it?
I did not win, but
Who
I was
won?
nominated. Norbert Leo Butz won for
Another legend.
Catch Me If You Can. But it was an honor to be nominated, and it was a fun night. It was a very fun night.
What's his name again?
Norbert Leo Butz.
Norbert.
You could watch
He's
him on
in-
Bloodline.
He's in Fosse Verdon, right?
He was on Fosse Verdon.
Right?
Yeah. That was another one that I like. I love that show so much, and I had worked with Tommy Kail on Hamilton very briefly, and
You were the king in Hamilton.
I was the king in Hamilton.
When?
Right after they opened, Jonathan Groff went to go do the Looking movie, and
I think I saw you.
Lynn just asked. I think you know what? I think you did because I remember you coming.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
I was there for like 5
yes,
weeks right after they
and
opened.
I think I saw you.
I think I have a photo with you. In fact,
Is that true?
Is her
Yes,
blouse open?
no, your breasts are enclosed.
Can I be honest though? That is very me to have my shirt popped open.
I just remember. I'll send you the picture. I'll find it.
I can't wait. This is going to be the best picture I've ever seen.
I have some real rando photos from that time.
So after Book of Mormon, what is your like, you get a bigger agent. What do you do?
I mean, yeah, some of that stuff. Yes, that happened, and it was a very interesting, not usual experience for Broadway shows. That like the West Coast came to see it, so then all of a sudden I had like meetings with people
Because it was like because the guys from
Trey and Matt,
South
yes.
Park did it. Like
Yeah.
it was like very like anyone in television and film
They
were
all came.
very interested in it.
So that's where I got my first job with Ryan Murphy. Was he cast me in this show called The New Normal that we did on NBC for just 1 year.
Oh my God, with Georgia King.
With Georgia King.
And Nene Leakes.
Yes, and
Nene Leakes.
Nene Leakes. And Ellen Barkin.
Was that your first TV show?
Girls was my first TV show.
Right.
So I had done the first season of Girls while still in the Book of Mormon, but it hadn't aired yet. And then I did the pilot for The New Normal. I did the second season of Girls and then went back and did a full season of The New Normal.
Oh my God.
So Girls was my first. Lena was at opening night of the Book of Mormon, and they cast me in that. It was one episode, and then it turned into they just kept having me come back.
Yeah, because you're a star.
Well, we hit it off, and it was like very fun to do, and it was such a fun set, and it was everybody's first TV show. I mean, Zasha had worked a bunch,
Right.
but everybody else, it was their first job. And Adam and I forget what play Adam Driver was doing now on Broadway, but he was like across the street from me in the Book of Mormon, and so it was our first time like working on TV, and it just everybody just sort of had a fun. I mean, it probably was similar to like your Freaks and Geeks time.
That was so long. I mean, we were.
But like it was
I
like
guess.
everybody's first job,
Yeah.
and you're like,
It's so
okay,
fun.
and everybody's
Yeah.
sort of figuring out how
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good time. Good times.
That's amazing. Okay, so then you had to like kind of move to LA to do
I had to
Normal.
move to LA. Yeah.
And at that point, what are you thinking? Are you like, I'm going to be a television star now? Fuck you, Broadway,
Look at
or
me.
what?
No, I didn't want to leave the Book of Mormon. I really didn't.
Really?
No, I didn't want to leave. I was very sad.
But you and Josh left together?
We left together.
I think that's right.
He was doing a show called 1600 Penn.
I remember because my friend Jason Weiner directed
Yes.
it.
Yeah. So we both got these deals at NBC.
And you were like, we're brothers and we're going to go
and
from
we're leaving.
Broadway to NBC.
And then both shows got canceled.
Well, that's
That
life.
happens.
that happens.
And so then were you in LA or are you like, I want to go back to New York? How many irons in the fire do you have at any given moment?
The day the new normal was canceled, Lena called me and said, do you want to come back to Girls? And like hours after it was announced. And I said, yes, please. So then like 2 weeks later, I was on a plane and I went back to Girls.
Genius.
Yes.
Wow.
And yeah, Jenny Connor said, she was like, now that you're done with your network dalliance, why don't you come back to
You're like, I didn't.
HBO?
You're like, I didn't mind the network money.
So I went straight back to Girls. Yeah. And Girls was great because we filmed, I mean, it was great for a lot of reasons, but we filmed mostly like spring and summer. And then I had the rest of the year, I always went back and did a Broadway show during the hiatus. So it like timed out perfectly that we would finish and then I would go and do like I would fill in for somebody or replace somebody so it was that was a good stretch.
And that's how you ended up in Hamilton.
Yeah. Lynn called me and said I had not seen the show. I had put in for house seats at the Public and was rejected.
I got house seats to see.
You did? I did not. And they were about to open on Broadway and Lynn was like, can you come in for just like 5 weeks? And I was like, yes, I have not seen it. Do you think I can get house seats now?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So, yeah. And it was while I was in rehearsals, I had a seat every night to watch the show, which, was like the hottest ticket in town. And I always had a seat like on the 4th row in the aisle and felt like such a, like, I don't know. I never got tired of watching that show. I would just like go and take my little seat and be like,
you were a king.
Look at me. Yeah. So that was fun to do.
That's fun to
and
like
to get to work with Tommy.
Yeah.
And
And to like
fun.
drop in and do that for 5 weeks,
Yeah.
like the biggest.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah. And they had luckily, I mean, they had just opened. Yeah, it was a crazy time.
I did see you.
It was a crazy time.
I did see you do it.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Well, thank you. Jonathan and I joked at the time that because I just, we kind of look pretty similar. And we just joked that we were like, it was like, oh, it's that white gay guy from HBO. Because he was on Looking and I was on Girl. It was like, nobody cared. Nobody knew the difference.
No.
Just some
That's fine.
Just some white gay.
Well, can I ask you a question about
No.
being gay?
Sure, yeah.
Did it ever, do you
Let's do
love
it.
it?
I love it. It's so fun.
When you decided to, when you came to be an actor, Broadway's a little bit different than film. But did you ever feel like, oh, I shouldn't be out?
Well, no.
There's no hiding it in so many ways.
No.
But
because like, first of all, no one cared. Like when I was just working on Broadway, like as a replacement, nobody was asking. But then when I was doing the Book of Mormon and I was 32, there was no going back. I mean, I had just sucked too many dicks at that point. But like, there was no denying it.
There was no way.
There's no way I'm going.
No way.
So I just, and then, Girls, I was playing a gay guy. Then Ryan Murphy comes along and offers me a role like as a gay guy. And I feel like I feel very fortunate that I started working on film like at a time where the stories that are being told are much more diverse, and there are much more diverse, opportunities for out actors to play, and different stories are being told, and it's not just the sassy friend with a one-liner. It's like there's full stories to be told and people to be played, and so I feel very fortunate for that. And the fact that a couple years ago, and last year the movie came out of Boys in the Band. I
saw you in that too, remember?
You did. I'm
your biggest fan.
All the gays were in that. But the fact that there was 9 of us, 9 out gay actors who all work very consistently and on all sorts of things, I mean, that's really incredible. It's really incredible.
It is. And when you think, who was there the night that I came to see it, and he was backstage, and everybody was freaking out. Tab Hunter.
Oh, yes.
Who R.I.P.
Yeah, he died shortly after that.
He did. But like when you think about he did. But like when you just think about the history of what actors.
Well, and he was interesting because I had I met him at South by Southwest when there's this documentary about him that's really incredible. And, that was a very different time in the 50s. And I don't think he really came out officially until probably the 90s. And I think he was sort of surprised that I had the career that I had. He was like, "What, you're gay and you're on television?" And I was like, "Yeah, no." I introduced him to my boyfriend and it was like, but he sort of seemed slightly baffled as, like how much had changed since he started his career that you don't have to hide.
He couldn't even sort of comprehend it.
But it was very sweet that he was there and he came to see that show and we all
everyone was real excited.
Yeah, it was fun. I thought you were going to say there was a night that Susan Sarandon and Jessica Lange came together.
What?
And they all for some reason my dressing room was where everyone, I loved it, but everyone just hung out in my dressing room and we all would have drinks after the show and we were all standing there and Jessica Lange is there and she was like, "What is that, bourbon?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." So we gave her a drink and she came and sat in my dressing room and
oh my God.
It was good times.
That's fucking amazing.
I know. That's another one I've really crossed the line with, Jessica Lange.
What did you do?
What'd you do?
Did you try to make out with her?
Well, yeah. Yeah. No, I just I just love her so much. And a few times when I was doing The New Normal and it was the second season of American Horror Story, we would be at the same events a lot.
Right.
And I just decided that I was going to be her escort. So we would, so we would go to these weird parties and stuff. And I would just be the gatekeeper to Jessica Lange.
No.
Yeah. I remember going to the night before the Emmys party, that big thing and we were walking in together and she took my arm.
But she loved it.
She did.
You didn't cross a line.
No. But
you weren't pulling a Hugh Jackman.
But I walked in with her on my arm and then all night people were coming up to me and being like, "Will you introduce me to Jessica Lange?"
Oh, that's
did you
such
deny
a position.
anyone access to Jessica?
Such a position of power.
Sure did.
Who? I want to know who.
No, I was like, "She needs a break." I was like, she can't.
Break. Well, people do that to me with Michelle.
They were like, "Can I talk to her?"
Well, a lot of times people think I'm just her publicist.
That's a fun feeling. That's a really fun feeling.
That was probably pre-Instagram, I think. Now people know who I am, but they're like, "Why is that girl from Instagram always with Michelle Williams?" But I feel like I was a lot of times the stop before getting to her. That
Sometimes
people would have to I was the Gayle King.
The Gayle King.
Yeah. I was people would come up and chat with me and then they'd be like, "Oh my God, Michelle, hi."
Well, and you do feel a little protective.
Yes.
I remember when I was much younger and I'm still friends with Christina Ricci, but going out with her and and she's also so small, she's such a little person that you feel
she's
I felt
teeny.
I had to be a bodyguard and be like, no, back up. Don't touch her.
How have you been? How's it all been during COVID?
Horrible.
In this time.
No, it's been a nightmare. No, it
hasn't been great.
Hasn't been great.
You've worked a lot though.
I have managed to work a lot. That's where the writing thing comes in handy. Is that when this started, I could still work on those projects that I had started. So that was good. But I feel and I don't know if you feel the same, there are A days and B days. And there are days where you can wake up and you work out and you're feeling good and you get shit done.
Right.
And then there are days where you just have to sit on the couch and watch Ozark for 6 hours. It's hard though, right? To motivate yourself. Because I was used to a schedule. And I had gone from Boys in the Band to Black Monday to the prom where all of my days were accounted for. And when you're working on anything like that, you just know and these are my work days and this is what I do. And then when all of that goes away, and luckily I was healthy, my family was healthy, all of that, no one, that was all good.
It's still happening.
Yes. But in the early days, but then to not have a schedule, I was like, what do I do?
I know. It's
what
insane.
Happens now?
What happens now?
Yeah. Now I feel like people have figured out sort of a version of how to be normal, but it's certainly
the
tricky.
new normal, huh? Some might say.
Canceled on NBC.
Let's hope this new normal is not canceled.
is not canceled. Thank you.
Fine.
Wait, I have a question.
Bob
I know
Greenblatt.
you have to go somewhere. Bob Greenblatt's gone.
I know, but he canceled the show.
But also he probably could just reach back and cancel us all if he wanted to.
He probably could.
He didn't pick up my show, which
mean,
led me to quitting acting.
Was that the one with Caissie? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I decided I was not going to be an actor anymore.
Our friend Casey Wilson, who's hilarious.
Amazing.
It's
And
so
also on Black
wild.
Monday.
He caused a lot of drama in my life.
And he made Smash.
Yeah. And so what do you feel about Smash?
I mean, I watched every episode.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you mad you weren't on it?
No. You know
Okay.
what I was mad about?
Huh.
I was not name checked. They would do name checks on Smash.
Yeah,
They'd be like, we saw Laura Benanti at blah, blah,
Mhm,
blah. And I was like, why can't I get one of those?
where's mine?
Rude.
Yeah, you're a Broadway legend.
I was also mad because when you're
I'm gonna
doing
keep saying it
when you're
until-
doing a Broadway show and there's backstage fighting and things like that, things like that, will happen. Usually the girls are all in wig caps, it's before their wigs are on.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that is a detail I
That
feel
is
was missed.
so specific.
Because I have seen cat fights between girls in full costume, full makeup, but a wig cap, and just being like, you bitch, and fighting with each other. And it's so entertaining.
Wait,
and I
that's
was
the greatest thing I've
They
ever
should have
that
heard.
was
hired
such
you
a-
as a consultant.
It was such a missed opportunity. I was like, everyone should be in a wig cap right
They
now.
made sure Deborah Messing had all those scarves, but not one wig cap.
No.
Let me ask you a question. What is your what? Well, I have so many questions still, and you have to go because
I'm getting a physical.
your yearly
Physical.
physical. Yeah, we have 2 more minutes. Wait, what is? Are you attached to any upcoming Broadway situations?
I am not. I am not. I would love to be. I think everybody's sort of holding their breath to see when that actually gets going again. But I would love to find something.
If they did a Book of Mormon thing, where they filmed it
They'd have
on
to.
stage,
They would have to
no,
roll.
on stage.
They would have to
filmed.
roll that camera back real far. I mean, I'm 42 and I have to sing a line that's. I'm 19, so I don't. Unless we're doing it at the Hollywood Bowl, I don't.
Oh, would you
think,
do that?
They could do it
For charity.
Yeah.
Well, just
Also, by the way, they're aging me down on Girls Five Eva.
are they? Well, I would
It's-
need the full Benjamin Button, just a wash.
You first of all have a baby face.
Just shoot me through a
Secondly-
horse blanket.
Secondly, they would. Through a horse blanket is my favorite thing that anyone's ever said. Just shoot me through a horse blanket.
Well, when you see those filters and you're like,
Yes.
damn,
Yeah.
okay.
Just full Vaseline.
I know there are some people. I am fascinated online at people who just choose to really face tune.
They do it
Because
so
then-
much they don't even have a nose. You can't even
Yes.
see that they have a nose.
My favorite, and I've had a few friends do this, where they try to trim their waist, but then that fucks with the background. So a tree will then have a weird bend
I
in
feel
it, or you're you can't do that.
Kim Kardashian's been
It's so
busted doing that before.
Yeah.
And people are like,
Yeah.
what are those Salvador Dali stairs behind you?
Do you have a? Okay, so your book. We didn't even talk about your book.
I wrote a book. You wrote a book. I went to your book launch with
Yes.
Casey Wilson.
I know
I
you were
saw
at my
you
book
there.
launch.
Casey
It was
and
a
I-
party. It
It
was
was
a
so
book party.
fun. That was a good way to do it.
You didn't do anything.
No, we did a couple events. I don't know. That was all. I would love to take another whack at that whole rollout process because it's hard to. I didn't know what I was doing, and I felt
No one tells you.
no. And as much as I talk to people, and I love my book agent, and he's great, and nobody really prepares you for what that is going to be,
Yes.
and touring around. I went to many different cities and did events with
I didn't have to.
Oh, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
cool because you get to see people and you get to.
I would have liked to do more.
It was. I enjoyed aspects of it, but yeah, I'd like to take another whack at that.
Yeah. Do you want to write another book or?
I would love to. Yeah, I kind of started right away because I don't know if you felt this way, but once you're in the habit of doing that, and because my book was essays, it was sort of standalone essays. It wasn't necessarily so linear. I just kept doing it. So I have. Yeah. I have
I did
stuff
not.
written.
I did not keep doing it.
You fell off.
Have you always been a writer?
Yeah, I've always kept a journal and done things like that.
Great.
But
Great.
yeah, but I never thought I'd share any of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a big deal? Do you have conservative family like in Nebraska and stuff? Or?
No, but like I told my mother, I was like, look, there's going to be some stuff in here that you're not going to want to hear. So if you get to a page with too many dicks on it, just flip ahead. Because
no,
yes.
If you get to a page with too many dicks on it, that's your Oprah moment. I need you to repeat that. If you get to a page with too many dicks on it, just flip ahead.
Flip ahead. I was like, you don't need to.
Honestly, that's great advice for most people.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're uncomfortable with it, like,
sure, just flip ahead.
Also, flip ahead if there's not enough dicks, Mom.
Well, good point.
You know?
Sometimes.
Let's not waste our time.
That was actually a title. They ask you for all sorts of titles, and I sent some like bogus ones just to like shake it up because they're a little. Sometimes they're a little stiff.
They are.
One of my titles was "So Many Dicks, So Few Names."
Stop it! No. Oh my God, I love it so much.
And they took it seriously, and they're like, "I don't think we can do this one." I was like, "Obviously, that's a joke." They were very serious, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to put that on a book."
Is there a dream role that you on Broadway that you haven't been able to do that you would like kill, like a revival of something, or like, is there like something that you're like?
When I get old enough, like Sweeney Todd, like that.
Really?
I would love to do that. Yeah. But I need to like
10 more years?
I need my voice to drop a little bit.
Oh, really? I don't know the show really well.
But I love that show. I mean, all of that Sondheim catalog. Like
anything from Sondheim?
Basically.
Well, you're going to have to fight Jake Gyllenhaal, I think. That bitch is real in there.
That's a fight I'd like to see.
Me too, actually.
That's
You'd
a
win.
fight I'd like to be in. Not like that, you guys.
So anything from Sondheim, Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Yeah.
And when are you going to do you should do would you ever do like a one-man show with songs in it?
Yeah, I got to do a couple years ago. I got to do just like it was short, but I did a special for Lincoln Center for PBS.
Yeah,
and it was really fun. I was terrified to do it, but I would love to do another one of those. Yeah,
I could see you doing some sort of like
performance-y,
some sort of
maybe
autobiographical, like from your book. Should we turn your book into
a musical?
A musical? Wait, can we?
We could try.
You and me?
We could try.
Where's Scott Rudin? Where's Rosie O'Donnell when you need her?
Rosie?
She's in my telephone. I'll give her a call.
Listen,
Rosie,
here's
please.
what I'm saying. We take your book, we turn it into a musical, we put it up at the public.
We'll put it at the public. Tommy can direct it.
Tommy will direct it. Sure. He's here.
We'll do it.
We're friends.
Tommy. Kale.
It'll be mostly a one-man show, but I will pop in.
Oh, yeah. You'll be like with special guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like your mom, and then I'm like
good
the
idea.
girl that you tried to make out with in high school, and then you're like, I'm gay, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what that song is, but
we'll work on it.
It's not original songs. I think it's like songs from the time.
I think that would be better if it was like song, like a more jukebox.
It's like covered.
Musical.
It's a jukebox musical, guys. We did
I'm
it.
manifesting it.
Let's manifest it. I can help you with that. I know how to do that.
Babe, I have to go get a physical.
Babe, turn your head and cough.
I'm going to have to have all.
Finger up your butt.
Over 40, you get your prostate checked. So
enjoy that.
Here we go. You want to come with me?
No, I'm not in the mood for that, but today. But I actually have to go to work. I love you. You're going to be late for your doctor.
No, I'm going to be fine. I'll walk fast. That'll be great. Thank you for having me.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
I hope
Thank you.
And also, I'm also like, I just want to say, I appreciate that at 23 years old, you thought your Broadway dreams had died. And then thankfully, Bernie Telsey thought to call you back in for Taboo. And here we are.
Thanks, Bernie Telsey.
And I'm glad you're not still directing kids' cartoons.
You and me both.
Because I think that what the talent that you have deserved to be shared with the world.
Thank you, Busy.
Well, it's true.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you for having
And I
me
love
into
you
your
so
home.
much.
I love you too.
Okay.
I'm going to see you very soon. Babe.
Okay, I'll see you soon. I'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, do you sell stuff online? Well, if you do, you know how busy 2020 was. Everyone and their dog and their children were shopping online. I was, certainly. Let's get ready for 2021. It's going to be even bigger. That's why online sellers like you need ShipStation. No matter how much you sell, ShipStation makes it super easy to manage and ship all of your orders from all of your sales channels faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. Important orders from any sales channel. You can ship with any carrier using their deeply discounted rates. Automate just about any shipping task. With ShipStation, you'll spend a lot less time on shipping and a lot more time growing your business. It's no wonder ShipStation has more 5-star reviews than any other shipping software. So listen, no matter where you're selling, Etsy, my favorite, where I love to shop, Amazon, our merch, ShipStation brings all of your orders into one simple interface, making them really easy to manage from any device, even your cell phone. It works with all the major carriers, including USPS, FedEx, and UPS, so you can compare and choose the best shipping solution for you and your customer. ShipStation even offers big discounts on shipping rates. Now, any business can access the same discounts usually reserved for large Fortune 500 companies. That's amazing. You're always going to know that you're getting the best deal. So there's a good reason ShipStation is the number one choice of online sellers. Ship more in less time with some of the best rates available anywhere. So get 2021 off to a great start by visiting ShipStation.com. Just use my offer code BUSY, B-U-S-Y, to get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in BUSY. That's ShipStation.com. Enter offer code BUSY. ShipStation. Make ship happen. Dry January is starting for me in just a few weeks, and it's a great time to try non-alcoholic alternatives because sometimes you want something fizzy and a little bit tasty. Well, that's where Kin comes in, K-I-N. It's a female-founded and run company. You know how I feel. I think it's very important to support female-founded and run businesses. If you're in the midst of your dry January, or maybe you're like me and you're waiting until after the inauguration to start your dry January, and then you're letting it go until mid-February, great. Look no further than Kin. I've got them all stacked up in my fridge, ready to go. Also, I drink them in tandem with also drinking alcohol. I don't even need an excuse. I like them. Kin Euphorics are the first non-alcoholic drink for grown-ups who care about the little things like brain function and hormone harmony, great sex, and de-stressing after an insane day. Kin Euphorics are stacked with the good stuff, none of the bad. Think adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms, reishi, maybe, that can help curb stress in the moment and over time, as well as nootropics that support cognitive function, i.e. clarity, memory, creativity. You know how much I love that it was built by women and it's for women who are on the mission to reimagine the social ritual of drinking without wagering on people's health and well-being. Kin Euphorics designed 3 mood-defining drinks for every occasion. It's like the Spotify of beverages. High Road hosts a herbaceous flavor and a feeling of a lifted mind and a relaxed body, great for social hour. I love a High Road after a long day. I add a little splash of club soda or tonic, and I like a little bit of citrus in it, lime or lemon. It's perfect when I'm looking for a way to kick back without a compromise. Kin Spritz is my favorite. It's a sparkling Aperol-like brain boost without the crash or hangover. I love the Spritz around 4 p.m. to beat my afternoon slump and shift from work into play mode. And then there's the Dream Light. That's a booze-free nightcap. Helps you sleep like a baby and wake up feeling awesome. So we've worked out a special deal for Busy Phillips's Doing Her Best podcast listeners. Receive 15% off plus free shipping on your order. Go to kineuphorics.com/busy or use code BUSY at the checkout to claim the deal. That's KINEUPHORICS.com/busy. What a delightful person. I love Andrew so much.
He's very funny, and he's very generous with his funny stories.
He is, and he's also like, you feel like he gets it, like Shantira, you'll listen. to the interview.
Here's the thing. I wasn't there, but I agree with everything that these two people have said. Thank you,
He's
Andrew.
delightful.
Thank you
He's
for being
delightful.
such a nice man. Because here's the thing. I wouldn't thank you unless they told me you were worth thanking. And that's the way I live my life.
Yes. And he's so cute in the prom. Birdie and I have watched the prom, and there's some emotional stuff in there, but like it's just fun and sweet and good. It's just good. I like it. I liked it.
It's a lot of heavy
I liked
hitters in there.
it. That's a great review, Busy. Anyway, guys, we love you. Are you getting your merch? We've seen some merch pics, some great merch pics. Make sure you tag us so that we can repost them or post them or do something with them. I don't know.
Or just
Also-
like them. Acknowledge their beauty.
Acknowledge. I'll acknowledge. I love to acknowledge. The Instagram, the official Instagram for this podcast is @BP_is_doing_her_best. You should follow that probably. You should also subscribe, download, and share this podcast with your friends if you think that they would like it and they would like to download it.
And if you think your enemies wouldn't like it, send it and make them listen out of spite.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And I think we also did another round of group chats, so that's going. So hopefully that's going well for you.
Oh, we paired them up?
Yep.
Nice.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
That is fun. Tell us about your group chats. Email us at busydoingherbest@gmail.com with any group chat information. We can do some advice.
Casey, you look
I
like
don't know.
you're in a music video. Like,
I know what's going on over there.
You
Right.
like
My house is all windows, so it's just like you can't really. You're always just light from every direction, so it looks like I'm in heaven.
yeah.
I'm going to take a picture of it so we can show people. But
But
do
you
think
genuinely, you look like you're in a VH1 video, like only like an adult contemporary.
My house is all windows. Which is nice, but that's why I have to put sunblock on the second the sun comes up, so I don't turn into a white raisin.
Your delicate alabaster skin. Protect that delicate skin, baby.
Guys, I have to say something. I can't even believe I forgot this. It's Gina's birthday today.
Whoa.
I saw on Instagram.
Gina's
Puppy
a year
Gina
old.
is a year old. I haven't even posted for her yet. If I didn't post, did it even happen? And it's 5:00, but it's still like early where you on the West Coast. Anyway,
Also, she's a dog.
you think she doesn't have an Instagram?
No, I'm saying. I mean, she doesn't know that you're late.
Yeah, just tell her birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've done that to my children. We know that's like a famous.
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite.
It's one of
stories.
our
It's
favorite
a famous
stories.
story. Do you want me to tell you the story real quick? When my son Lincoln was very little, it was his birthday. My husband was away at grad school doing a residency, and my older son knew that it was Lincoln's birthday. But I said, "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just have a regular day today, and then we're going to have a party when Daddy gets home for Lincoln's 3rd birthday." And so we made it through the whole day, and my older son surprisingly didn't say a word because he's not the best at keeping secrets. And so he helped me read stories to his baby brother, and I tucked him in bed. And then I said, "Good night, Lincoln." And then Eli said, "Happy birthday." And Lincoln's eyes snapped open and he said, "Party?"
Oh, buddy.
And then I had to go back and be like, "It's your birthday, but Dad's not here. So we're having a party when Dad gets home. Thanks a lot, Eli."
That's my favorite story, and that's how Lincoln became my son.
I love it.
Party? Because every
It's
once in a
so
while, I'll just
cute.
say it. I'll be like, "What are we doing? Party? I love it. So small, so cute. I love him."
Anyway.
Well, I found 9 pennies today.
Whoa,
Walking. That's crazy.
You're on such a
fucking
roll.
crazy.
The wealth.
I know. Well, also though, it's crazy because I do, people are like, you find them because you look for them. I do look for them. Yeah, that's true. And you know what? I go days and days and days and occasionally a week without finding a penny. And I get sad. And then there's a day like today where it's just a windfall. And like the pennies are not easy to see. Like they're like, hi, birthday girl. She's here. Hi, baby. There she is. She's one.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gina. You true queen. You true bird wing eating bad bitch.
You guys, for her birthday, should I just let Gina? Okay. Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't start with this story, but you know what? Fuck. We should get rid of everything else that was in the podcast and start over right now.
You always want to start the podcast over, but we can't.
We can't start it over.
It's
Okay, guys, listen. Can I just tell you the story real fast?
yes.
Per usual, I woke up with jeans early. Like I always wake up at 7 a.m. naturally, unless I have like a 5 a.m. call like I do tomorrow. So 7 a.m., get up, go to the bathroom. I have the worst the worst of my period. So to change my period underwear. And then I take Gina downstairs. She's impatient. She is ready to go downstairs. And it's her birthday. She knows. So I take her downstairs. I let her out. It's cold. She marches downstairs and pees and comes right back up. This is our routine. I make my coffee, then I make her little meal, and then she eats. I drink my coffee, then she needs to go out and poop. Then we both sit on our chairs and I look at the internet. So anyway, barring any like craziness, right? Like a dead chicken wing or something. So this morning, birthday girl does our routine. I put her back. I let her go back outside. She tells me she needs to go back out. I let her back outside. And I was sort of just like looking online and there's a lot to look at these days. And then I looked out back and I saw she had pooped and she was like wandering around. And I was like, I don't know. She's just like exploring. And then I looked again and she had gone back to the poop and was like looking like it was a tasty snack or something.
No, they will eat their own poop.
Wait.
Yeah.
So I open the door. It's cold. I can't like leave the door open. I'm like, Gina, get back up here. Oh, look, she turned around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Gina, get back up here. And she comes up and you guys, she had a piece of poop like a cigar in her mouth. It was so gross. Like a little cigar, like a little stubby cigar. And I was like, oh no. And then that's the moment that like Mark came downstairs and it's almost, I think it's like 8 o'clock at this point. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And he's like, what the fuck? You gotta get it out. She can't, I was like, I know, give me something. I don't know what to do. And so then he like hands me a paper towel, but then I start gagging because I'm like gonna throw up. I have to like pry open her jaws to pull this tiny little nugget of shit out of Gina's mouth. And then I'm like gagging, trying not to throw up. And then Gina's like standing there and then Mark's like so mad at me about it. He's like, you can't let her out there. You got to pick up the poop right away. I was like, I didn't know she would eat her poop and then try to bring it back in. And so anyway, so then I got the little nugget out. I didn't throw up, put it in a poop bag, whatever. And then she like trotted in and laid down on the floor and then just was chewing something. And I like hadn't gotten it all. And then I ran over to try to get it and she swallowed
her own poop.
And that's how she started the day.
It's
by
her
eating.
It's her birthday.
That's her birthday. I was like, live it up, girl.
Yeah. She'll be all right.
You guys, how is it fucking Monday? I'm so fucking tired.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, we are. What are you doing?
Well,
Come
we should let you go so you can celebrate with Gina. We should wrap it up.
Look at this little jerk. Look.
Aw,
She's
so
though.
cute.
111. She was born. She's a magic pup.
so cute.
It's a good number.
You guys,
We did
wish
it.
me luck. I think I need to I was contemplating stopping drinking again. But maybe
You
just
can't do
hold
it
off
till
on
after
that.
the coup.
Yeah.
Until after this is all said and done.
After the inauguration.
Because this is all fake. The year starts January 21st. Then you
Okay.
could be dry.
Okay.
And also,
Okay.
like, so many people are doing so great with their sobriety, and that's amazing. But also, like, if you're not sober and you want to have a drink, like, don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah. I
Right.
might
Like
have
if you're
some
not
wine
like
right after this.
if
Yeah.
you're not like a person who is actively in recovery or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we just have to be easy on ourselves, you know?
I've just been really hard on myself and I need to not be. And I know. But I just am like hard this week has been hard.
Everyone's always more gentle with other people. We're never gentle with our
Yes.
own bodies. So it's something that has to be relearned.
I'm not the boss of
That's
you,
right.
Busy, but you should treat yourself the way you treat other people. You should try.
Sometimes I'm real hard on other people though too.
But they fucking deserve it.
Well, that's by the way.
Not that you're really not that hard, by the way. You're like, I mean, listen, you can say that, but you're not that hard on people, in my opinion.
Thanks, Caissie. You're a good friend. All right, guys, we love you. This has been a really weird episode, but it's been a really weird
It's been a
47
really weird.
days. It's been a
Yeah.
really weird.
It's been a really
Period.
weird. Ellipses.
And we'll talk to you all week, but we'll talk to you again for sure next week. And we love you.
Love you.
And we love you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh, no.